next two closest were 7-4, and then everybody was below that. The Arcos, I think, having 4, King with 7. Going into game 2, yeah.
Yep.
Knowing that we still have 5 remaining, knowing that based on the leaderboards from yesterday, that 17 points at one point separated first and last. And by the way, a quick note, we can see the mini-map, but I think Tfue, yeah, there it is.
There it is.
I'm pretty sure Tfue has the block all by himself.
Royale, 19 total points because of those 9 limbs. Sitting pretty, 5 games away from $3 million.
I have to say, I feel like after one game, seeing an average placement stat of first, that's something I would screenshot just to hold on to. Yeah,
best player in the world.
I averaged first through all the games that have been played.
Here is Aqua versus Twins. Aqua, as we can't stress enough, our Fortnite World Champion from yesterday in duos. Only with a common SMG is Twins, and pumps being missed left and right from Aqua. And I'm going to tell you right now, Aqua's going to be upset with himself on that one, Dr. Lupo. That was a sloppy fight from both sides. I'm going to say it right now. Those early game fights can be very, very awkward, but we also have the first elimination what we saw earlier.
Gosh.
And it was Bizzle with the common pistol and then says, here's your reward. A llama that was looking at a nice view from the top of Dusty Divot.
Kovacs out of his mind. By the way, a quick note here. Twins had 46 elims in his qualifying matches. That is so many eliminations to get to this point.
Yeah.
Over 10 games,
Insane.
that's huge.
And most players didn't even get to play the full 10, so you got to think Twins did pop off in his region when it was going on
right
through.
there.
Yep.
2 shadow bombs. Already has a flint knock sitting on minis and a pump. Solid early game loadout. Going to need to pick up maybe one more movement ability, depending on whether or not he wants to keep the flint knock in his inventory. We'll have to see. Still hopefully looking for a slurp at some point. MQ and Mr. Savage not far from each other. Takamura, Clarity G also in Happy Hamlet. My least favorite drop, I'm going to be honest with you, but a lot of these players know exactly where the chests are and know exactly how to get there as fast as they can. And there are so many materials down here. This also is one of the highest chest spawn counts in the entire game. This POI is insane.
Yeah, I believe 29 possible chests or something along those lines. But as MQ says, you know what, let me roll away for right now. We'll give that to Mr. Savage. Over to Snobby Shores, it's Hornet. Putting the spray down with that heavy assault rifle. Only 19 AR shots left, Dr. Lupo, so we'll have to use them wisely here. 8 players have dropped so far in the zone. We're in a southwestern side zone on this one, so already some good variation between the zones in Game 1 and Game 2. Hornet will continue to move slowly but surely over to Nyx. So again, looking at the map, looks like a lot of players still outside the zone as you'd expect, but they'll begin to rotate on through as the first storm will close.
Boy, plenty of time to make decisions. Force engagement there. The tree disappears, and that drum shotgun spewing shells out. Going to push inside the box. Can't quite get the wall if the trap was placed. No luck there. Doesn't have one in the inventory. Nyx still trying to apply as much pressure as possible without having to chew through too many rounds. Reload here, and the drum shotgun. So much damage dealt with this thing so far. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes in for it here in just a second, and he does. Watching that corner, Hornet still on the defensive. Long-range spray from a drum shotgun isn't enough, but up close, the thing is very, very deadly. Nyx picking up first elimination for him in this game.
Also with the emote after the eliminations. That's 2 so far. This is spicy.
Jack, you love
I mean, I love this.
You love it.
I get like 1 limit for every 3 games. So every time I have the option to vote on an opponent, it's fantastic.
A very important note there. Nyx had the most eliminations in the online opens at 61 during his qualifying week. That's crazy too. And Nyx from Brazil. We often saw very aggressive gameplay from those players during their qualifying matches.
All they would do was kind of just stomp through their lobbies. We always talk about how insane it was. Here's the inventory for Tfue right now. 4 minis, 3 big shields.
Good lord.
4 shadow bombs.
Good lord.
A launch pad, a legendary infantry rifle, a blue pump shotgun. Tfue set up for the rest of this game, nearing max materials as well. This is what happens when you give this man block all by himself.
Nobody wants to challenge here, but it's one of the best loot spots in the game. Robab's over on the right side of your screen, going to try and take that southeast corner building, see if there's anything left inside, but There's so much loot here at the block, so many materials, so many opportunities to get an advantageous position too, because you're right up the hill, like I said before, this baller spawns up there. Those are going to get grabbed pretty quick, but if they don't, if you're lucky enough, you have free rotation as well. It's also not terribly far from a slipstream to the south, just past the umbrella quarry down there. Meanwhile, Mr. Savage stuck in a 1v1 down here at Happy Hamlet. There's actually 3 players total. My apologies. You see on the mini-map in the bottom right there. They can't see those arrows, but we definitely can. And Crew and Takamura still down inside in the building. Audio cues trying to listen for each other. Takamura, you see, not really moving. Crew trying to do some wall replacing to build up a little bit of a material buffer in case fighting does happen here. I think Mr. Savage is going to rotate out.
Here is Tfue with a player just in front. It's like a fight he's potentially looking to take. Not sure exactly what the health is of the opponent just ahead, but you got to think, okay, so there is a health advantage. Maybe Tfue did a bit of damage as Kluja will begin to heal on up. So it does look like Tfue damaged a player, thought about challenging, but for right now, we'll just box for a moment. They are very, very soon going to have to move towards the zone.
If you're watching online and you get an opportunity here to clip some shots from Tfue, it's going to be very accurate. We've seen it before, and we'll see him again with that infantry rifle. One of the best in the game.
That was kind of greedy from Tfue. He has a ton of materials. I think he didn't expect his opponent to challenge and go for a shot, but because he tries to save a couple walls of wood, has to pop one of those big shields, and Kluja says, you know what? I'm out of here, and the zone's already there, so Tfue has a long trek ahead of him. Might have to decide if he's going to use a launch pad here. Probably not, as he does have the slipstreams down below, but still will take some damage from the storm.
If there is a rift spawn up at the burger, he can take the zip across, jump off midway through, and go down and grab it. We'll see.
Booga eliminated to start off this game in 90th place. So our game 1 winner out early on, which means that that 9-point lead will surely be cut down as this one goes on. Quick thing I want to remind everyone of, yesterday we were nearing the #1 trend in the world on Twitter. I'm going to challenge all of you right now. Use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup across everywhere. Send in how you're watching today. Let me know who you think's going to win. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup everywhere from the millions of you all tuning on in. Can't stress that enough. Let everyone know that the largest event, one of the largest events of all time, concludes today with a $30 million prize pot in total throughout the weekend.
Keenstar holding an edit here. Stuck in a little stalemate. He's going to hold that side, look for the shot. Can't quite find it. Player backs out of that. Not fast enough to get
Mr. Savage goes down to Mega.
Big names eliminated early in this game 2 with World Cup solos. Keenstar holding this edit yet again. Just trying to wait and watch to see if he's going to spot this player, make a move. This might be opportunity to make a play here. Twins kind of baiting the ultimate high ground here. Quick little resets. Gonna go for a wall replace. Does get it. Pressure applied. Gonna jump up. He built the ramp preemptively to defend against any shots. Here it is. A shot from the side does make contact. Twins down to 90 total HP. Big hit there with the shot. He can try and rotate up on the outside. Getting pressured against the edge of the storm, and a build-off is kind of the only answer at this point. Quick cats down, doesn't quite find that the player inside ahead of him has the lead. Another big hit, 14 HP left for Twins. A build fight is all he's got left. He could shadow and try and get away, but if the player inside is smart enough, Keenstar knows exactly where to shoot. Twins is going to go down. We'll see here. One pump is all it takes, though, with this thing. 150 HP.
Oh my gosh.
Almost going down there. No shield remaining. A back and forth between these two titans of Fortnite. And there it is. Keenstar finding the lead with the shotty there, and Twins eliminated.
Move towards Storm Surge kicking on in. I do want to point out where this next zone is. Spoke to production. We'll bring that back in for you all to see just how insane zone number 2 will be for everyone on this map.
Actually, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they have a long, long run ahead. Look at that.
All the
a third
way
of
to
the
the
zone
south side.
Off the map.
Not only are you forced all the way to the bottom of the map, you've got nothing on the south end of the safe zone. The players going to get compressed together. I would expect going into circle 3 or 4, you're going to see a very low player count in comparison to last game. We're already down to 75. And Storm Surge now getting ready to kick in. You have 5 players that need to go down before damage starts to go out to those that have not dealt enough of it.
Yep.
Multiple players bunkering up here at Happy Hamlet. Not not a whole lot of real estate left. Shots going out there. You heard that minigun, one of the very good weapon for applying pressure to structures, especially when you see other players are taking shots at the same target. Let it fight in the top left of your screen there. Replay between Niddle, opponent inside the box. Caught above, but headed down. Can't quite find the first shot. Follows through with a second, third, fourth, and the elimination.
He had 1 health left. If you looked after the 50 health was earned, he was stuck at 50, meaning he was under 1 HP. He had effectively 0.9% health and goes down right there. His opponent can't win the fight as he's rewarded. Nakamura on your screen, 179 total HP, and that's a tough battle you have here, Dr. Lupo. Do you use your last healing item in the big shield for only 21, or do you hope maybe 179 health is enough for the next fight? It's a double-edged sword, a tough decision to make. Storm Surge still active. 4 more players need to go down before it ends.
Trying to get the wall there, can't quite find it. Quick edit up and out.
Solid
Gonna make the rotation away. Waiting. This is just an opportunity. He's basically trying to bait to see if the player inside is gonna head out. Shockwave. Lecce hits the tree. It might cost him. Pressure being applied now. The 1v1 not over quite yet. Combat shotgun from above right here will be very effective. The spread from a top-down position like this is like a guaranteed crit. Here we go. Shot from behind. Can't quite make contact yet.
Zone now hitting for 2 as well.
Player's gonna have to go for it very soon. Here we go. Another shockwave to push away. Storm Surge is active. He's way above, and those bandages are gonna be key to survival. We'll see. I guess the swap in position. But she took the high ground temporarily here.
They're at a point now where they basically just,
they have to
one of them needs to get in a fight. One of them needs to win this fight if they want to survive for the 50 extra health. Lecce slowly taking this damage, 2 ticks every second, and it's going quick. Dr. Lupo now down to just 12 HP. This could be done here momentarily. A shot, no! Moffman wins it with the quick shotgun to the dome, and you see, using 4 bandages, the 50 health puts him back up to 100. It should be enough to move on in. Storm Surge now over as well, and the next zone just popped up, and it's even more southwest. Tfue still alive in this game. So far, 0 eliminations. Still, though, with this magnificent inventory for the late game.
I just want to say that the bait outside in the storm, forcing your opponent to take damage, knowing that they're not healing for their own HP, basically a way of weakening them, and then you choose the time to engage, means you don't even have to be as active as before. That shotgun, Tfue take a couple shots, and that player on rotation with the Shadow Bomb, a little more difficult to see them since they're basically invisible. They are a shadow.
Yeah.
Is that why they call it a Shadow Bomb, Jack?
Not entirely sure yet, as I'm still figuring that out. Tfue not safe in the next zone. Is he going to use Launchpad? He's going to try to use whatever his opponent places down right here.
Oh, no damage being applied. Give an attempt to try and bait. Doesn't put down that launch pad. Here we go. Thought for a second he might go for the zip. Chooses not to. Flying past multiple players in.
Shadow Bomb.
Move, and here we go. Shots from the backside. Pressure being applied on Tfue, and he's going to have to box up for just a second. There it is. Shadow Bomb and door edit. Making a move on the outside. He is in the shadow form still, and you can keep this by jumping against the wall.
That was not a good Shadow Bomb, I can tell you right now.
Gotta be disappointed there. Big hit from above, down to 55 HP. Tfue, the edit from the outside, and he is eliminated by King.
And look who it is again. King, the player with 7 eliminations in game number 1, keeps the aggression going. In game 2, the heavy sniper that immediately destroys that wall and is rewarded with incredible loot, almost max builds as well. Tfue, a very quiet start to today's World Cup competition.
Here's that elimination on Tfue, shot from above. A little bit of shield damage, but a big hit from the outside, using the heavy snipe to take that wall almost instantly. Very intelligent play there. Again, more aggressive players we've seen thus far.
Yep, and it's working out up to this point.
Oh my gosh, this is back down at Happy Hamlet, right on the edge. So many players on the east side of the safe zone, and this is a far southwest. Remember, about a third of it is in the water right now. Nobody's on the island, the outside. We're going to see where this goes next. There it is, focused just to the west. That submarine atop the ice mountain right there.
But look at how many players are stacked on the right side of that zone. So if you're currently in this next zone, on that north or east side, you can put a ton of damage downrange as everyone has to move right at you. You see Karu does go down to Diego GB in your elimination feed. A drop coming on through. Crew boxed up, Creo boxed up, Rux under 100 health, has to play this one safely, but they are so far on the east side of the zone. The Storm is going to move quite quick, Ben, and they've got to be ready for it. There's already the first shockwave used. Rux trying to shoot them from behind, not able to get an elimination there. Class so far away. Will use the launch pad and just begin to move towards this circle.
You have to think at this point with both placement and eliminations before too long here. King maybe taking an opportunity to push into the first place position on the leaderboards, especially with Bugha going down so early in this game, 90th place.
I love this outfit from Rux right now.
He's a dinosaur.
Rux is, no, I'm talking about his real life
Yeah,
outfit.
he's a dinosaur.
He's set up to play in the Fortnite World Cup at 1, and then he's got a dinner date at 7:30. So good for him.
Listen, class is everything, Jack.
I mean, the guy looks great. I'm going to give a shout out for that. Best dressed, 2 extra points. A Fortnite World Cup champion right there, Rux. But
only a 6 damage tag from the side there. Didn't have to panic too much. That I would panic a little more about.
When you have no movement, and you're that far from the zone, it's literally exactly what I just spoke about. King on your screen, but also someone we haven't spoken a lot about, Reverse 2K. Duo with Ninja, unable to qualify together for this competition, but did make it into solos, and now seeing what he can do by himself. Was on the farm side of this zone, so also not a fun spot by any means.
Quick note, King currently has the highest damage in the match, 574, meaning, like I said, that aggressive gameplay. Still in it, still trying to win, still trying to get the beat on players, and a quick beam on Aspect up the ramp, caught off guard by an edit play. A shot through the wall, gets the follow through with the edit. Nate goes down. He is playing out of his mind right now.
King reminds me of like Vinny and Zextro back from the earlier duo competitions when they would just try to fight anyone they saw. King, 7 eliminations in game 1, now 4 eliminations in game number 2, and there's still 42 players remaining. And there is only one person in the next zone that just popped up, Dr. Lupo. It is as far west as possible, and look at those arrows frantically moving on over as everyone knows prime real estate is available. This is one of the most insane zones I've seen. Look at, no one's in it. No one's in it.
Quick couple notes about King, one of our players from Argentina. He is the minimum age required in order to play in the Fortnite World Cup. 13-year-old savant.
Wait, King is 13?
He is indeed.
My goodness.
Jack is 11 million times better than both of us combined.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous to think about. Cosmic on the height. Vivid still alive in this game. Artbrook still alive in this game. Draken's still alive in this game. What does King use here? Looks like will again place the launch pad, and what you saw right there, a ramp placed backwards to bounce off of it so he doesn't go all the way up. It's basically a sitting duck up in the air. Kind of flows quite quickly towards the opposing player. King, imagine winning $3 million as a 13-year-old. I mean, I think I would have bought like a Razor scooter when I was that age.
Probably.
And enough ice cream to, well, don't really know where I was going with that one, but to be honest, there's going to be a lot of ice cream.
Surprised that food's the topic here. The push through the air. King getting aggressive into the next safe zone. Here we go. Going to have to hold a wall for just a moment. Little drop down. I like this repositioning. He doesn't want to remain on the same elevation. He's got multiple floors now in case he needs to take a drop there. Yarkos gets beamed from the side. Limited by Scalar. Arkram in the feed. Pick it up. And Elam on Bella EU. Dubs, Bucky. Multiple players still in this game on your screen. Clicks taking out Cease in the feed.
29 players left is the big thing to note. Four more from placement points, which if you make it to top 25, instantly 3 points earned. That is on the mind of every player still remaining, and the zone's still moving west now.
Shots through. Minigun, a quick swap there, picks the shotty back up. Interesting little play on the fly there from Zell. Trying to do it just enough damage to the wall. Here we go. Shockwave. Gonna look for optimal placement. Maybe a little bit of time to disrupt the shockwave into a shadow bomb. 9,000 IQ.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Get all the way across the map and take as high on the mountain as possible. Very excellent play there. Positioning the King, the star of the show thus far for game 2. 5 eliminations. We are in the top 25 for placement now, so those points go out. And that's got to push King even higher on the board.
Yeah, King was already surging towards the top of our leaderboards. Now could very well be after this game. King spraying on through with the submachine gun. Players moving as fast as they can over this mountain. The left side of your screen, now the full screen. Emku still moving through. Look at how fast he can tunnel. Benji Fishy's still alive in this game, just took down Drakens. Down the hill we go. Road Shark on height right now, but we'll need a waterfall down for a moment. Vivid still followed on up. King down to just 40, 30, 20, 15 HP. Under 10, no, still 17 HP. Will only be at 42 effective health. I mean, if he gets any further than this, it'll be an absolute miracle. And no, down goes King, but I think one of the crowd favorites beginning to emerge today. Fantastic performance at this point. Benji Fishy goes down as well.
A little bit of a crowd building up behind him. Dubs still in a baller at the bottom.
Top 15.
Star sitting on 2 eliminations in this. The entire field is the bottom of your screen on the left with Road Shark remaining up top, forced into the drop. Let's get away, looks like a shadow bomb to save from any fall damage. Vivid beamed on the rotation up to the ultimate high ground.
Vivid's on height.
Still there too.
Vivid's on height.
It's an opportunity here. Can capitalize and take shots on all these players rotating. At this point, Vivid's best bet is to force players out of ballers into fights. You don't want to let them remain inside and safe. If you pop them out, it may be an exposed position. Other players will take shots, and that's going to get you in a better place.
Look at the ballers. The ballers beginning to scale the mountain. Vivid, I think, still has high ground. Has time to pop a mini by chance? Nope, nothing as of yet. Now the fight for height begins. Vivid building out up. Arkham in your elimination feed now into our top 10. Issa, the controller god as many regard him as, takes down Sam. Another one onto Thatch too. So Issa from Europe getting involved in this game as well. Vivid and Road Shark all the way on high ground. Still multiple ballers in play. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fortnite World Cup solos competition. This is game 2 of 6, and oh no! Vivid has lost the high ground, but he says no! This is mine, young man! And takes it right back. No mats! No mats! No life! Vivid is out of this game. But he got the limb. He got the limb on the Road Shark.
He's at 2 eliminations, sitting in the middle of the pack right now. 7 players remaining. The end of game 2 right before your eyes, folks. 120 total HP. He can't spend any time out of the zone right now. Player goes down inside the box. Can't quite get in. One right behind outside. Can't find a beat. Issa goes down, placed in 4th. A 1v1. Dubs, the ultimate high ground. The crowd cheering behind him, looking to see if he can capitalize on this advantageous position.
Down low, it's Dubs for Skite.
A little bit of a build-off between the two, layering defensively against each other, but Dubs,
no builds.
One build. The flint knock to save him on the drop might be the play, just outside ahead of the build. Maybe can catch himself.
Oh my gosh, is he
around, inside the storm. This might be it. Shockwave into the flint knock, into the safe zone, doubling back, another one, a valiant effort. He's got to find a bead, but he won't be able to do it. Ladies and gentlemen, game 2 goes to Skite.
Skite had 27 health left, 8 HP. If he took one hit from the storm, he was dead, but he clutches on up. We heard in the interview earlier, he said, I'm gonna play my game, win, do what I do best, and Skite does it there. Dubs, what a valiant effort. Look at that. Look at it, Skite's HP. Literally one storm tick would have been enough, but Dubs had no mats left and unfortunately didn't wind up making it up that mountain. Skite just wins, and there you see the celebration. Game 2 goes to EU as Skite comes out on top.
Single elimination, 11 points for Skite. Gonna be great for the leaderboard. We'll have to see exactly where they end up. But a big, just honestly, a maximum effort from Dubs was insane to try and stay inside. Absolutely incredible. Here's your leaderboard as it stands right now. First place being held by Booga. 9 elims, 19 points from that first game. No showing in the second game, but it's still enough to keep him all the way at the top. But King slowly climbing his way up to the top, just behind now by only 1 point.
Folks, King can't drive because he's 13, but he can win $3 million today. When you talk about lives being changed, it's what the Fortnite World Cup Finals is all about. And now our crazy 9-point lead is down to just 1, 1st through 10th within arm's reach. Our top 20 absolutely there as well. This is still anybody's game.
Saying the spread between 1st and 20th still very, very close. Anybody can climb all the way to the top in an instant, as we've seen countless times of the 10 weeks of qualifying all the way to here. New York City for the Fortnite World Cup, and this is the final day. Jack, today we give away $15 million in prizing.
It is absolutely crazy.
It's insane.
The energy in here so far today. I'm sure everyone's having a blast watching. Games 1 and 2, fantastic. So much happened, even more than we could probably even take in, and that's why we've got great people like Balla to help us out.
Thank you so much, Courage. Yes, I'm here. We have a ton of awesome plays, a lot of action unfolding in that game. I'm going to help break it down. We're going to hop in with King, who got so many eliminations this game, no placement points. But if you recall, the beginning of this, nice tags here, gets the player white damage. He knows he has health. He knows he just has only health, no shield. He just continues forward and goes for the box fight. In the second zone, the zone is about to start coming in. He has no fear, the aggressiveness of the player, and the double edit makes him fall right back into his own box that he had a floor on already, gets the cone on top. That's Leleo, another player from South America, but he continues to take out big names, and here is Tfue. He tags him a little bit, but then pulls out the heavy sniper right as Tfue takes the box, and because of that, that came as a surprise to Tfue that he could bring out the heavy sniper, take the wall right in that instance. Usually he'd be expecting the pickaxe on the wall, but the heavy sniper, speed. Now King, continuing to look forward, continue to look towards the zone where players come from. It's Aspect that he takes out. That's 3 eliminations, but he goes on forward and grabs another one with great awareness onto Nate. So unbelievable play from here. King is just racking up elims. Again, no placement points in this game, but he still pushed himself within distance of Bugha, who Bugha went down earlier there. He took out Clicks as well in the box. And this is, he's taken out Aspect, he's taken out Tfue, he's taken out Clicks. These are some of the best box fighters in the world. But now, King, he's saying, hey, I'm here at the Fortnite World Cup. I am one of the best box fighters in the world as well. So guys, that's King, the story so far. He's climbing the ranks, he's inching ever so closer to Bugha. Gentlemen, back to you.
Great stuff, Balla, and yeah, a fantastic breakdown of how King has made it up to our 2nd place spot so far. We were only a 1/3 of the way through today's competition, on the road to crowning a Fortnite World Champion. Thoughts after games 1 and 2?
I love to see the aggressive gameplay from King and others. Those kind of plays you don't often see in the Fortnite World Cup or really any competitive play. A lot of players are waiting for those opportunities to maybe get shots on players that are moving, that kind of thing. It's been great to see, and obviously a crowd favorite here, as we've heard people erupt every time he pushes into the box. What about you thus far?
Crazy action. I'm really interested to see how these different landings continue. We've already seen games 1 to game 2, people switch up their spots, land at different areas, and sometimes it's come back to bite them. All I know is, though, that's going to do it for us two for right now. We'll be back later today, but down on the floor we have Zeke with some more information on our players.
Thank you so much, Lupo, Courage. Man, what an insane first 2 games here on the first day, or the final day of Solos competition. Bugha with insane shockwave play to give him the high ground, and then here, Sky, his positioning on point, which gave him the win over Dubs. I mean, you guys, and of course, the Marshmallow performance. If you guys are here, how have you enjoyed the day so far? What do you think? Some of you are still sleeping. Guys, what do you think? This is it, the final day! There it is. You're awake, I appreciate that. Now, of course, guys, we've been getting through this Fortnite action all weekend long. But don't forget, we actually had creative happening earlier on Friday. Now, if you remember, there was a certain team captain with a great crew. They won, and they became the first ever Fortnite World Cup creative champions. And that was the Fish fam led by team leader Scissors. Now, we felt we probably should go ahead and check up on him, see how things are going for him. So let's go ahead and do that.
Kitty Plays, and we're here in the player lounge right now, joined by the winners of the Creative World Cup. First of all, congratulations. Now, Scissors, how does it feel now to solidify that title?
It's kind of awesome considering I love creative mode. It's thriving, it's awesome, I love it.
Now, Tyler, did you ever believe that you guys would secure the position here today?
Yeah, I always knew we had it in the bag. You know, we're the week 1 qualifiers. We're the most stacked team. There was no competition. Just when the last map was a death run, I knew we had that in the bag. We got some good players here. I knew Zan would clutch up, and he did just that.
You could tell he lifted the finger. He said, we need 1 coin. Just grab this coin right down here. If he can do this without being eliminated.
Here it is. The win. Oh, he missed it, but gets it with the trap trigger.
You realize that one jump won this group here an extra $1 million.
It's unreal. Like, if you want to practice with dev runs, you need to like do it slow. Don't go in blindly. Like, try and like change everything you do every time you fail.
Suzu, can you see yourself doing even more with creative? I mean, the success of today. Will you continue to go and play creative maps?
I think I would definitely stay consistent with creative because I feel like there's a lot of potential in creative still. And yeah, definitely this is my thing.
But I want to go down the line and see what each of you guys plan on doing with that prize.
I'll probably end up like saving most of the money, maybe like some investments.
He's 18 and he just won $336,000. What are you going to do with the prize?
Rent? Rent. Yeah, I think rent.
I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to save my money.
I am going to be responsible and probably just invest most of it and try and get even more money back.
All right, guys, congratulations again. Absolutely outstanding job. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I cannot wait to see what the future of Creative Fortnite looks like.
Once again, massive props to Scissors and the Fish fam. They worked as a unit, and that's what got them the dub in the end. The grandfather of creative shows up huge here on this stage. Now, of course, guys, we know you want to get back into games. I want to get back into games too, but first, let's just make sure they give a little bit of a break to the players. We'll hop back in as soon as we can. Now, I did talk about creative a little bit, but don't forget, we also had that celebrity pro-am. Players and people from different walks of life all came together to take part on this stage and play for charity. Now, of course, we had Ninja and Marshmallow, your 2018 Pro-Am defending champions that faced off against Airwalks and RL Grime, your Summer Block Party Pro-Am champions. And the winners in the end were actually Grimes and Airwax. They are 2-time Pro-Am champions. So let's actually check in with them and see how they're doing.
I'm here in the player lounge right now, joined by our Pro-Am winners, RL Grimes and Airwalks. Wasn't totally expecting you'd win 2 in a row. Can you walk me through those final moments?
It felt really good. I don't think I would have won if I didn't have him.
Now, RL Grime, you were holding your own, you were keeping up, you were staying alive, you were getting eliminations. How did you change your playstyle from last Pro-Am to this Pro-Am?
I think we learned a lot from the last one, just that you focus on late game a little bit, and I just sort of let him lead the way and made it happen.
How did it feel to play with a potential World Cup duo winner?
It's amazing. I'm actually going to come tomorrow and sit in the stands and cheer for my man Airwalks, yeah.
Maybe make an Airwalks sign and wave it in the air?
Maybe a 98 bot sign. I'll hold it up.
Good luck on the event tomorrow. Congratulations on winning. Congratulations on winning. Incredible, incredible gameplay throughout Fortnite World Cup Pro-Am.
Man, Grimes and Airwax coming in clutch. Very happy for those two, but I'm actually happy for this guy right here. This is 1/2 of your Duos World Champions. This is Nyrox. I need you guys to make some noise right here, right now. Show him that you love him. How does that make you feel? You got all these crowds.
That's great. Feels amazing.
There you go. Now, Nyrox, let's chat a little bit, right? Because you played yesterday, like I talked about, in the duo competition. Your partner, Aqua, is actually playing today in the solo competition. So what advice did you give him heading into these games?
I told him earlier this morning that he should stick with the plan we had yesterday. And even if he has a bad start, he can still make a comeback like we did. And he can still take the trophy home.
That's pretty good advice, pretty good advice. Now, you're already a world champion. You've got the title. So how does it feel now that you've got this title, you're here, you get to experience this and watch the solo competition, you know, how are you feeling after all that?
I mean, it feels amazing winning the duo, even though I want to compete in solo as well. But hopefully this gives me confidence in solos, which makes me do better in solo next tournament.
Okay. One final question for you. This morning, you know, obviously yesterday was a huge day. You had a night to kind of sleep on it, and then you woke up the next morning. Did it sink in? You know, how did you feel the next morning when you're like, man, I'm a world champion?
It feels surreal. It doesn't really feel like I've won anything because it was so big. It was almost too big to imagine. But yeah, it feels amazing.
Well, again, massive congrats to you. One half of our world champions. Again, give him some love, Fortnite fam. Thank you again, Nyrox. Appreciate your time. Now, there's actually another player we want to talk about real quick, and that is Skite. He just won this second game, so let's see what he's got to say.
I'm Skite from Lustream. I'm French, coming from Paris. I've been preparing the finals by playing customs and playing every day with friends or mates. It was hard in the beginning because my wrist was a little bit broken, so I just wait and then I qualified for the boss in the last 2 weeks. I definitely want to thank my team because they support me a lot when I was playing qualifier. In here we are more aggressive and NA is a little bit slower, so we try to play a little bit safe. I think maybe Zayt is really good and I want to take him down. I don't think playing in Stadium will affect my gameplay because I already did it. I love everyone and I'm just excited to play.
There you go. There you have it. I mean, Sky, this guy is amazing. I'm a big fan. Sky, you know this. I'm a huge fan. Now, guys, there's so many players. There's 100 here that I wish we could spend so much time talking to every single one individually. But let's actually dive in specifically to one, and that's Mr. Vivid, you know, Mr. Clutchman himself. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him there, but don't worry, he's going to bring some more heat. We actually had time to spend with him and his hometown, learn more about him, so let's watch this together.
I live in South Jersey in a small town. Population of under 1,000. You see a couple of cars pass by your house. It's quiet, so it's nice. Here, I played Fortnite at the highest level.
Vivid picks it up. Gets the elimination.
My name is Noah Wright.
Oh, yeah, bud.
Also known as Vivid.
Let's go, dude.
I am 21 years old. I've been playing competitive Fortnite for almost a year now.
Vivid, a familiar name to a lot of fans.
What makes me a successful player is probably all the hours that I put into it. The schedule gets kind of crazy, but I keep myself in good shape. I will do a workout routine, 20 minutes on the exercise bike, 15 minutes of stretching, and then back to playing Fortnite.
Look at that. I don't know what's hitting you, bud. What's hitting you?
Just having fun.
Vivid popping off. Taking that victory royale. That was insane.
I live with my dad. We've always been really close. All he ever wants to do is fish. He takes care of everything around the house. It makes everything really convenient in terms of, you know, playing games and just being able to focus on that.
Our schedules work pretty well. When I get done work, he's usually up gaming, so we do spend a little bit of time talking and going through the day's activities. Noah and I helped each other very much getting through the difficult time.
When I was 10, my mom passed away. She passed away to a cancer called small cell carcinoma. It definitely made me mature a lot. Made me realize like how much my mom actually did for me.
Noah's mom had a very big impact on his life. She set the ground rules, making sure the grades were all straight A's, and he could go into gaming.
I credit a lot of my success to her.
Well done there, but he's gonna catch him in the air. Vivid's gonna get the victory royale. What a game from Vivid.
Knowing that I'm successful at doing what I love to do, that would just make her really happy.
Ready?
Yeah. Fortnite granted me with a decent amount of money. I can help my dad out now, so I got him the boat.
He presented it to me for being a great father, bringing him up since our mother passed away.
I actually haven't been on the boat yet. So this weekend I'm gonna go on the boat for the first time.
Getting him on the boat and back on the water again, one of my ultimate dreams.
Looks nice.
What do you think Mom would say?
She'd like it.
I love it. I want to thank you for this and everything. You made me happy. What do you think of your first trip out here?
It's nice.
Now you gotta come out more often.
Man, I'm gonna be honest. I'm trying to keep myself together right now. I know how you're feeling, Vivid. I am very close to my own mom, and she means the world. If you guys have a chance here to meet Vivid, he is genuinely one of the most hardworking, kindest people you will ever meet in your entire life. If you can say hello, take time to do it. I promise you will not be disappointed. Now, of course, Fortnite fam, we got to keep the games coming. Games are about to be underway. The players are back. They are ready to board the battle bus. So for now, we're going to send it back up to none other than Monster D-Face, Golden Boy, House DJ Mike Realm. Bring the heat.
All right, folks, we know you're excited to get into some more games, and good news, we got you covered. Welcome, everyone. Golden Boy alongside with Monster D-Face. Here's we're going to call games 3 and 4 of the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. And, man, you couldn't have asked for two better games to start things off, Monster. Craziness through and through, top to bottom. Best players in the world, and they're showing up here on the world stage.
I mean, you guys saw the reaction. Booga, with the insane game one, had us jumping out of our seats, quite literally. And man, Sky, at the final moments, I thought we were going to see a victory comeback from Dubs with a flint knock shockwave to, shake up the entire place.
Yeah.
But it was great.
Yeah, it was very, it was a nail biter. Let's just put it like that. But let's run over the format and how this whole thing's worked. So at top 25, players will start to get 3 points. Then we move on to 15th place. At that point, all the players that are still remaining will get an additional 2 points, making it a total of 5. Then after that, if they get to the top 5, they'll add 2 more points to that, making it a 7-point total earned for staying alive all the way until the end. But if you get that victory royale, you get a total of 10 points. So +3 coming out of the top 5 there. And each elimination is going to count for 1 point. So look for these players to play for the placement. Some, like King, want to play for those eliminations. And then the prizing, it's all on the line for $3 million for the first place prize. 1.8 million for second, 1.2 million for third, and then 1 million as well, plus for fourth. That is crazy. That's a lot of money.
You know, yesterday the duos had to split it. Today, it all goes to you, right? It's just a solo competitor. So, and everyone here is a winner. We're here to celebrate every single player that has made it this far. If you stepped onto this stage, you are already a winner.
The marathon that they took to get up to this point, bananas to say the least. 10 weeks, grueling competition in both solos and duos, and for a lot of our competitors that had to prep not just for the competition today, but also yesterday. Now we're already 2 games in. We had mentioned some of the players that had performed very well, right? Your Booga, who had a monumental game 1, and then you also had Skype, who was able to just outlive everyone else and stay alive. But it is Booga who still holds first place, but by 1 point, because Argentina's very own King is looking to contend that, and that is crazy. I mean, talking about aggression, this guy embodies it.
Yeah, you've seen him time in and time out. It's players like King that really make these tournaments interesting to watch for the spectators at home, for everyone here in the audience. You gotta have your King show up and bring that action all the way through to the end. And it's not to discredit anyone who made it this far. These guys are still in the running.
Yeah, it's only 2 games in. Games 3 and 4 are going to be just as important. Players are going to have to step it up if they want to get within the top 20 here. There's just so much on the line. There you see Booga, who's getting ready, getting prepped up. Everyone is so hyped up here at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. And I don't even know what to expect, man. Game 3, like, what are we even going to get? We're seeing early aggression here from a lot of the South American players. Our players that we talked to from North America and Europe said that was what they wanted to avoid, was the South American aggression, the OCE aggression. But this time it's South America that's showing up, Monster.
And not to bring it up, but you know, you saw exactly what happened when King walked into Tfue. He just saw him trying to shadow bomb peacefully to the zone. They were not safe, by the way. They still had to make it through to Happy Hamlin, but King said, you know what, I'm gonna pause right here and I'm gonna take this fight. And that is how the Brazilian region does.
Yeah, that's how they do it, man. They just want to take the fight. They want to go right at your face. They don't care who you are. Listen, you can have millions of subscribers on YouTube. You can have all the Twitch Prime subs. You can have all the fame and the fortune. But at the end of the day, everyone that's in that game, they're all equal. There is no upper hand depending on how popular you are, and you shouldn't be treated that way either. You should just go at them with everything you got, because that's what it's going to take to walk out of New York City with $3 million in your pocket, which, by the way, you'd have to have a very big pocket for that.
Take a look there. Benji Fishy has been showing up.
I told him to play to the crowd. I said, play to the crowd. Have some fun with him.
Yeah, good to see him smiling. You know, we were there in the warm-up games. He was a little timid, but Benji, loosen up, buddy. There goes Mr. Savage. And the rest of our competitors, Creo, Kinstar, Vivid, of course. This is a big moment for everyone here. Game 3's close.
And it must be cool as well to see you guys. Give him a round of applause. He waved to everybody. He waved to everybody, you know. That's not bad. All right, so here we go, folks. It's now time to jump into game number 3 here for the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. The countdown has begun. The players are loaded up in the battle bus. This is it. All on the line. Let's see who will take away another victory royale, or will we see one of our 2 winners get back-to-back wins, get double wins? That will be massive for them. Oh man, I'm excited, Monster.
And so far, Aqua has been the only player to prove that he can win on a stage of this magnitude. But just to give you guys a little context on the bus here, this is a bus coming from the south to the north side. So all of your competitors are going to get, yes, a fair split at the map here. And that's exactly what you like to see. You want everyone to have a fair shot at the map. So let's go and see as Skype is looking to land here. We saw Skype win that last game.
Yep.
It's just outside of Pleasant Park. He's probably playing for some ballers here in our top 10 over on the left-hand side here, Golden Boy. Booga, King, Commandment, Psalm, one of our competitive veterans doing so great right here. Even with that 1 win, though, Sky is still in 6th place.
Yeah, it's wild to think about that that's what it took for him to be able to climb up into the top 10. Only 2 eliminations to his name currently standing. But we're going to keep eyes for the time being here as we head on over to Junction. There's a hot spot there as well.
We have talked to some players about landing for hotspots.
I actually just got word from production in the back. King has been eliminated off spawn.
Wow, that's huge. That's going to be a real big setback. We've seen players like Zayt and Sap really fall behind yesterday off of one game not going their way.
That is rough, man. That is certainly not going to be pretty for him. But hey, you have 3 more games remaining. You just got to shake that one off. Moving on, though, we're checking out the action at hand here. You're going to have Tuzel pushed right in. He's going to make him pay. That's going to be an elimination on to Fledermois. Well done. Number 1 on the board.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't trust myself with that Magnum, but he gets right up on him and hits him in the chest. Here now with Crew.
That was the shot. Oh, Crew, no chill. Right on the sky platform, too.
That was how King was taken out. Couldn't even land safely. Got pinched right out the sky. That's rough.
Because there's nothing you can do. You're in a glider state. You're just floating down. You're hoping that no one's looking right at you. The players at this point, they're going to go for those shots, those open opportunities. Then you got Tuzi, who had just picked up an elimination earlier on. The circle is going to be over in the ice biome, so by the Polar Peak, Frosty Flights area, and it's also going to be within Pleasant Park as well. So the eastern part of the map, they're going to have to worry about moving on over to the safe zone. Now we're going to be looking at a crowd favorite here. We got Tfue.
Yeah,
He's had the best run so far.
He's been playing the blocks. He's been getting out of the block successfully. It's actually Clipnode who's been landing here from the Brazilian region. Again, known for landing on a weapon and pushing straight into whoever's at the block. But Tfue has successfully defended himself. Even in the warm-up games, T was winning all of the early game engagements. And, you know, shout out to Clip. He actually changed his strategy.
Clip went for a shot there.
Yeah, but Clipnode stopped pushing, though. He's not using the same strategy. He's actually adopted so far. But let's see what Tfue can do in these moments. He's chucking some perfect grenades across.
Yeah, in game 1, Clipnode ended up getting everything that he needed and then disengaged out of the block. Whereas Tfue took a little bit more time to loot up, get as much as he possibly can. Clipnode from the Brazilian region here, who it's a possibility that he can take him out, but it's going to be very challenging.
And maybe it was just the difference in loadout. Maybe before he didn't have exactly what he needed. Now we can kind of peek into his loadout here. This is a very strong loadout. He's got everything he needs to stick around and take this battle. And that's why you see him playing with such confidence now. And this could just be his game.
And it was also admirable of him as well. You know, qualified week 9, last chance to do so. Argentinian player as well. Then you got Takamura now. Sees a player right in front of him. Happy Hamlet is where this fight's going to be taking place. As Clarity G really made it to the end game in game 2. Had high ground there for a moment. Thought he could have pulled that one off. Mr. Savage has eyes on Clarity G, does put the pressure on him. Now Clarity's going to have to deal with a player that's behind and in front of him. So just shadow bombs on out of there. He's going to have another one to use as well in case he needs to pop it, but it doesn't seem like anyone's going to be paying any attention to him for right now.
There's over 6 players landing at Happy Hamlet, but we're jumping right into this battle right here. Unknown Army, who has had the time to prove to the world that he is here to bring the heat. Early on in our competitive days, Unknown Army was known. Take over, Golden.
This is it, man. Unknown Army, one of our first controller players. Actually, he was our first controller player to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup. Perhaps this is going to be the opportunity that he was looking for, Monster. Put himself on this stage. Get a big opportunity. Things have slowed down here for a moment. He's looking to overtake that roof. If he can get possession of that, head it on out. And that's Commandment. Commandment's going to be sitting at the top 5 if I'm correct currently. A good fight here between 2 quality players.
It's not a battle he wants to lose. There's lots to prove here. Unknown Army, one of the few controller players in it. We saw Wolfies have a big day yesterday. That wall's his. He's got the aggro. The last one is not, though.
He's charging right in, and Commandment's going to have to get out of there. Didn't want to deal with that player. He knew the Unknown Army just had that beat on him. Wisely enough, and look at the health there. That's why Commandment does not want to go for that fight. He's going to be in dire straits right now, as Unknown Army does have the life lead.
He's just taking all of these platforms, too. He's gaining control slowly but surely. Nice little peek right there. He goes for the staircase first. So clean.
Doing this all with a controller. You know, we have millions of players that play on controller at home, and he goes in, does apply white damage. One more, that's going to do it. Commandment was in 3rd place. And Unknown Army now made him put in the place that he wanted him to. Dominant.
and a little taunt to throw some salt on the wound right there. Now hopping to the other side of the map, we have Blaster, who's looking for a vehicle. He does have a baller, and his main priority right now is metal and more loot.
Let's take a look here. We got Martine. He's got eyes on a target. Also using his Sky Stalker skin. One of my personal favorites. Charges forward with that drum gun. Close range, but no! It was Low Boom who gives him the hands there. Fun fact, Christian, our boy from Fortnite VR Live, told me look out for Low Boom. Someone to definitely take eyes on. They did eliminate one another though. So Boom, not in this one. Maybe you can find some better luck in games 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, that is the risk you take when you jump into someone's box here in the Fortnite world. Leshy, another controller player, bringing it back to the good old nostalgic Tilted Towers for that close-range PvP. He's going to get shot a few times right there, but still keeping his cool. He has plenty of extra shields and mobility. Shockwaves are going to be great for maneuvering around this congested area. That's what it is. 4 players in Neo Tilted right now. You have to be careful.
This is a controller battle, actually.
We'll see who can best one another here. Leshy's probably looking to take this wall. All right, he's going to break into the building now, get that high ground over his opponent. Astonis is just waiting, not making a sound here, seeing if he can bait Leshy into a trap play. Let's see. He's going to fall for it. Will he make a mistake? And that's really what it is, right, Golden?
Yeah, it is. When players are on that stage here in the audience, the crowd, everyone cheering, there's obviously going to be that added pressure. We talked with a few of the players before the game started today. The number one thing that I think everyone brought up to me was just the volume, right? The sheer presence of where we are. And some of them even went as far as to say, yeah, I don't think I'm going to look up at all. I think I'm just going to focus on the screen. That's what I know. No reason for me to try and go above and beyond anything else, right? Sometimes the moment can take you away.
You can see both points of POVs right here, both points of views.
Yeah.
They're looking to take any walls that they can just to gain control, have a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, this is basically like the Fortnite equivalent of an arm wrestling match right now. Maybe for some of our parents who are joining us here for the first time, haven't watched Fortnite before. They're really just struggling to try and get positioning over the other player. That is the struggle that they're wrestling with here. See, use wrestling again. Worked out well that time.
All right, Lesh this time has decided to commit. He is now down face to face. There's nowhere Astonish can run. He goes into it.
Oh,
lands the 2-shot. And that's the little tactic right there. If there's a ramp in front of the wall, you have to recognize you are in big danger because there's a nifty little trick to get you in that box.
Another one of my favorite players here. You got Legendian. He's going to be in a fight right now. Moves around the side, loses the high ground. Oh, man. That is rough. Legendian not having the best games at this point in time.
Pizza's placed 8th on average when he qualified in the online opens. On average, across every game he loaded into. That's very high for placement. And now he's picking up elims. Unfortunately, like we said here, Legendian just not really connecting the dots today, but it's not over yet. We're only halfway through this competition here.
There's Lechi who has to get out of there. Whew, that could have been very dangerous, but gets an elimination on Kinstar. A massive elim here for Leshi, who's sitting right now at 2 elims currently in this battle at Neo Tilted.
Representing for all the controller players across the world, Leshi, very dangerous. It's going to be a huge upset right there.
And you just get close range with a player like Leshi, and they'll punish you, right? When you have the controller, you have that little bit of the ability to just L-trigger. You're going to have, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, L-trigger, low, whatever. But the reality is, right, you got the full use of your arm. They have the use of your thumbs. But when you push in for there, you just don't want to box with them inside of that. It's very rough to deal with.
Maybe Ruck said it best, you know, just the age difference. Leshi's 15, you know, could just be a little faster than Kinstar here.
Yeah, I know. When I was 15, I was nowhere near as good as he was with a controller. So, and I competed for a very long time. Got through. Was just in this fight here for the moment. Does get ownership of the wall because that player does disengage above him, and he hears that movement all around. You also get an eye on the bottom right of your screen. You can see the mini-map, where players are going to be located. The player we're typically on is going to be that white triangle, but that blue triangle, that other player goes right in for the fight, is going to knock down the shield just a little bit there. He's going to have minis to be able to top himself back up.
This is very intense here, Balloon.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shockwave. Yeah, you don't want to go for that fight. Shockwaves are so important. Players saving them for that late game. And in some cases, they'll just use it, disengage. You don't want to take a fight. There's no reason for you to do so. A lot of players playing cautiously, as they should, with what's on the line here. But Crew, oh, he marches forward. That's number 2 for Crew.
You can see the excitement there. Nice little smirking grin on his face. He throws a peace sign to the crowd when he takes that player Lucky right out. This Happy Hamlet area is so dangerous to rotate through. You have players like Mr. Savage. Now we see Left Eye and Kurtz. Left Eye was responsible, again, for a big upset in the last game, taking out the likes of some huge names towards the end game. But Kurtz here with a heavy sniper. Can he open up a base here and follow up with that infantry rifle? So he's coming up, he's getting his little peek on right here.
Yeah, I think Ninja yesterday had talked about the infantry rifle, how good that weapon is, and it truly, I mean, the accuracy that you get out of it is absurd. It's something that if you pick it up and you know how to use it, you'll be deadly out there in the field, which he has done a lot of times, Ninja, which is why he likes that weapon so much. And I would understand why a lot of our players will go for that as well. When you have the option to, why not? If you got that comfortability with it. Then you got Left Eye. 2 eliminations currently. Has 2 shockwave nades.
And you know, you got to give some respect to Left Eye, who completely left his previous job 6 months ago to fully focus in on competitive Fortnite. And he found himself at the Fortnite World Cup stage. I don't think it gets any better than that. That is a dream story here.
Yeah, in competitive gaming, you take those risks if you want it so badly. If you want it more than you have to breathe, you just go for that moment. You never know what's going to happen. This could very well be a lot of the people in this arena next year playing on that stage. Courage did say that they had the budget, so I'm just going along with what he said. You know?
All right, but here we have
Tfue.
Tfue playing his classic high ground center map, more or less. He does have a lead for the next zone.
Yep, movement options for him, which in the last game he had the shadow bombs. Didn't really pan out for him because King, very thirsty, went for just all the water he could possibly get out of that one. And I say he certainly was quenched in his thirst. But then Tfue, now this is, sometimes you're flying and then you just become a magnet, and that is unfortunate.
It's Clarity G who picks up Tfue. Unfortunately, right there with one wall open from behind him.
That's
not
so
placed
difficult.
down, unfortunately.
That's so difficult. There are times you fly into the sky and then the entire server just looks right at you.
It's all about timing in Fortnite here, but that's the risk you take. So now looking at Link here. Link putting some pressure up above. Remember, Storm Surge is in effect in these games, so you have to be hyperactive. You have to be proactive for seeking for damage. But when you commit to battle, you are more than likely going to have to finish that battle. Here we have Robabs. He's kind of looking up. He's holding that edit, though. He is ready to open it up. I think he's going to trade fire as soon as Link goes for the shot.
He's
now
waiting
they're
for it.
both, yeah, they're both playing that little mind game right here. Who's going to go first now?
New circle, now active.
This is what we like to call a shambles loadout, as Link doesn't have much loot.
No, doesn't have much loot, doesn't have much HP either. He's gonna have to try again in the next game. It's Robabs does manage to get the better. Oh man, this is intense. Now we're at 62 players remaining. Some players taking fights, others really just focusing on staying alive, staying in this one to the placement points.
That's right, and now we have Leshy back with Leshy. We saw him in Neo Tilted, taking out the likes of Keemstar, Astonish in these 1v1 battles. Clearly not afraid to jump in your box. And oh man, with a loadout like this, 6 shockwaves, 3 launch pads, all the ammunition in the world, and zone favor right now. He is looking very good in game 3 right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of builds. He's got tons of stuff to work with. No reason why Leshy can't make it to that end game. This is going to be interesting. Controller player. Let's not forget yesterday, Wolfie's controller player getting second place here in the Fortnite World Cup duos competition, along with his teammate Rojo. There's Lechi though, applying the pressure. With that shockwave nade, he gets right on top of a nice spot, nice position, kind of planning himself, understanding a player's going to be around there, but now all these players looking right at him as he just has to play defense. No choice. Gets tagged up a little bit, loses some of his shields, but he'll be okay for the time being.
The amount of players you see on the stadium side that once he's shown his self to that angle right there and everyone just collapsed on him, that is so scary. And it's still coming in, but he's fending himself off, punishing another player off to the east side right there. Here's Lechi. If he can figure out that that player is the same one that just tried to make a move on him, could spell disaster for Evil Mare.
Evil Mare doesn't have much to work with regarding health, right? He's sitting at just above half HP. Right above him is going to be Clash. Got Peasus as well. Down low on the flooring. There's Clash. Good loadout as far as weaponry is concerned. Also has that glider with the HP that he has currently. Ugh. Might want to take advantage of Shadow Bomb or something like that rather than exposing yourself to the sky. But this is another play from earlier on, I believe. Or actually, no, Storm Surge active currently, and we are in live. Apologies there.
So he's sitting on two ballers here. You see one here. He knows his opponent's gonna have to go for one, but I guess a little bit of scouting there is gonna realize someone's waiting, baiting all of the loot as well.
Also off screen, Lechi did take out Evil Mare. You mentioned that before, Monster. Ended up happening. And then Storm now, 65 HP. Where is this player that went in for the fight?
It's Wakey. Wakey's right nearby. Storm and Wakey are sitting now in the zone here. Biding time here. Wakey, 3 eliminations, tied up for the most elims in the game so far. You have Wakey, Lechi, and Aspect, all at 3 eliminations so far.
Just under 50 players remaining in game number 3. Players have boxed up. They want to play this slow game. Wait for anyone to make a mistake. It's going to be hard, but for some players like Dubs, they're going to need it. Because thus far, it has not gone well for, I would say, one of the favorites here.
Dubs did go for the shot, unfortunately could not connect. It looks like Clarity's going to pick up Core Gaming there instead. Dubs, we saw in the previous game, do that baller all the way to the end game.
Yep.
Really playing slow and methodical here. You can't stand still. Dubs has definitely found himself a target nearby.
You see some, I think they're just looking at each other. They know exactly what's going on. Circle's going to be closing down now. We're going to find out where the next one is. And that's when players start to prioritize these rotations, the movement. Dubs does have a baller, which has been his strategy. He did it in game 2. He had the baller pretty much all the way until the end there. Got shot out of it. But it did bring him to a second place finish. Another top 3 finish for him, top 5, top 3, maybe even a victory royale, right? But ideally that,
You tried to catch him right there.
That
You saw that?
wild.
You wanted to put him in the box for a second there and take it.
Trapped him right there. Player will have no idea what to do at that moment.
It's actually pretty interesting as well because Class is desperate right now for an Elam. He has to really feed off of a Siphon. He doesn't have any other way to heal. Even taking the safety edits, making doorways so that he doesn't expose himself even for the slightest bit.
84 builds left for Class. Tons of builds here. And then the Storm. Now the Storm starting to push. Look at Lechi still going for shots as players are moving about. I think I saw a player get right in his face. He did pop that Shadow Bomb. Now we're going to the game 1 winner, Bugha. He's dealt 420 damage in this match. Hasn't taken a single shot. 1 elimination for him right now. As now the action feed begins to fall. You see so many names getting eliminated one by one. Bizzle out of this one. That was from Lechi, who's having one heck of a game, taking out some big names.
And it is really going down right here. You can just kind of breathe in this overhead view right here.
Man.
Bella EU doesn't even realize he has the high ground right now. Clarity G just nearby as well. Bugha at the upper layers in this end game, just trying to avoid that lower ground congestion.
Yeah.
All these players are just slammed in the middle right here. As Andretta gets the high ground. We haven't seen much of Andretta so far.
But you got to be careful. Those shockwaves will really sting and take that placement from you.
Yeah, he has been laying low so far, but does manage to maintain the high ground. Lost it for a brief moment, but wisely enough went outside of the storm to regain some of those builds. On the right side of your screen, you got Bugha and Lecce. Lecce, a great game that he's managed to put together with 5 eliminations. Bugha, your game 1 winner, maybe looking to get a second win on the board. How massive will that be for your current first place player?
Lecce just picked up his 6th elimination now. He is really popping off right here.
That was on Hoodjay too, a big player there and a big connection for him. Lots of builds to work with. Bugha does get another one. That's Kinzel.
Right through the trap he goes. Bugha, one of the superior box fighters in the Fortnite competitive scene right now.
Lecce went up for the high ground. If you see it on the left side, he went high ground. He does get possession of it, but ends up getting hit there by Andretta and finally eliminated. But what a run Lecce had in this game. Finally comes to a conclusion when he went for high ground. Now it's Bugha. Again, with 11 players remaining, we're about to get into the top 10 here, Monster.
Bugha left. We saw he does get taken out right there. Unfortunately, it's Peter Pan who takes him out with 6 eliminations. Peter Pan, the dark horse right now. He's gonna get wiped out here too, but it's still a great game. Wakey, who we saw leading in eliminations at one point, is still popping off as well.
Skyte's in this one as well. Maybe he's gonna get a back-to-back win. Riverson, he's got the high ground, he's got the explodes, he sees players, he has 11 builds, so he has to be very conservative with this. Does pop that player and the baller, forcing them down. Going in for the engagement now. More explodes, 5 remaining left. Player lands in front of him, and he tags him up for a lot of shields there, and Riverson has to reset, needs to be careful not to get hit by that storm. Someone's gonna be above him!
He's too good!
An elimination onto Skyte. We're now sitting at a 1v1. 2 players left standing here. Who's it gonna be down low? It's Dubs! It's Dubs down low! And Riversand has Dubs on his site. Who's gonna get the win here? Riversand navigating, tarping. He has 7 builds remaining. Dubs trying to play defense, giving himself any kind of cover that he can possibly maintain. But Riversand, a few more explodes remaining. That could punish Dubs.
He's really trying to keep him down to the zone here, Golden Boy.
Oh man, this is it. He sends another one out, and they're just telling him, you gotta run. He goes into it. He's still holding position. Dubs has the high ground, but he lands in front of him, and Dubs gets a victory royale on the world stage.
Absolutely incredible for Dubs to connect. Finally hits all of his shots, and nearly a back-to-back performance right there. That is the kind of comeback story you want to see here on the main stage.
Prove to the world that you're the greatest to ever do it. But you gotta give credit to Riversand. 2nd place finish for him there. Had the high ground, had the explodes, but it was Dubs who managed to get the better of Riversand. And look at this unfold right here. Riversand had the Rockets looking right at Dubs, and Dubs just needed to play defense. Riversand had no more builds to work with, and Dubs recognized he had the high ground. He just needed to go in there for the clothesline, and he nails it with that green pump.
That is the name of the game. You cannot miss your shots when you fully commit. Dubs and Mega sitting side by side. What a better player to have nearby you. Arguably probably his best friend right here in the competition.
Hey man, that was nuts. What a game from Dubs. And what a journey he's had. 4-time qualified. We know that he is a unit when it comes to solos. Finally getting that win. So 2nd place in game 2. Game 3 gets 1st place. He has to be feeling very good about that.
That is the kind of performance he was looking for, and it must feel good to finally solidify a victory over the course of the weekend.
Yeah, it's like it's just a load off your shoulders, man. Honestly, because I've been talking to him quite a bit, and he's like, I just want to get this win. Now with that, Dubs goes up to 3rd place. At the top, though, Skyte, he managed to make it to the end game, as well as Bugha. So, our 3 winners, 1, 2, and 3, in the order of which
they took their
games.
victories.
Game 1 was Bugha, Game 2 was Skyte, and Game 3 was Dubs. 19 points, 1 point shy of taking 2nd, and Bugha, way to hold on to that positioning at the top of the mountain.
King is still here too.
as is Psalm, as is Commandment. They've all been in the running. But that was a great fight to see the West and the East clash in those final moments.
I love it, man. I love it. Another, we look here at 11th through 20th. Epic Whale, Fwexy, and Issa all managed to get up in the standings here, as well as Left Eye and Wakey. Oh, what a game that was. Game 3 did not disappoint, but I did get word that we have Dubs standing by with Jordan Fisher to get his thoughts on that win.
A massive, massive victory royale for Dubs here, a definite crowd favorite. A lot of people really excited to see you play today. 2 games in a row, 1v1 situations. Obviously, you're playing for placement here, and we're seeing this action happen in real time. Your baller maneuverability, you're staying in the baller for so long, obviously helped you win that right there at the end. Yo, the rockets are coming down on you hard. What are you thinking in this moment? You trying to get high ground? What's going on?
Last game, I was just purely playing for placement and try to hold out in the ball, and it worked.
Obviously, we got that victory. Okay, going into these next matches, you're sitting in a pretty great position right now, if I do say so myself. What are you thinking? What strategy going into this right now?
I'm just going to keep trying to play consistent, and I should be good.
Golden Boy, Monster D-Face, it's feeling amazing down here. How's it feeling up there?
I think the feeling's mutual, my friend, because these have been excellent games. I love duos, right? You and I, we talk about all the time, right? We love casting duos. But there's just something special about when it's just you, the game, solos, competition, the way Battle Royale was meant. Dare I say, to quote Dr. Lupo, the ultimate Battle Royale experience.
There's just no room for error in solos. There's no, buddy there, no battle buddy to come pick you up when you get dropped, when you get sniped for making an error. You cannot make a mistake. And we saw this sign earlier today. The Dr. Lupo is not old.
He's not old.
Hey, dad fam out there.
He's just a little elderly. That's all it is. As am I. So, what a game that was. And I understand, though, we actually have Cam standing by with a special announcement. Sundown, what's up?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Golden Boy and Monster. And while we're here in the midst of the largest Fortnite event in history, you're probably wondering what comes next. Well, as we said before, competitive Fortnite isn't going anywhere. Once Season 9 wraps up and we move into our next season, we'll be debuting the Fortnite Championship Series. This will give players a chance to compete against the best of the best, where every single result matters, with a leaderboard to track results over the course of the season. Follow your favorite players on their quest to become the first season champions with millions of dollars at stake. Now, this is just a taste of what's to come, as we also plan on stepping up our competitive efforts across the board. So keep your eyes peeled for more news as you root on your favorite competitors in the back half of the matches. Golden Boy, Monster, back to you, gentlemen.
Well, that's awesome. I didn't even know that was coming. Oh, look at you. That was pretty dope. Fortnite Championship Series?
Can I just say, did you hear that? Every placement matters. Wait, is this something you guys have been wanting or something like that? I don't know.
This is awesome stuff there. It's obviously not going to stop, and we're glad that that is the case. But focusing on what's at hand right now, Fortnite World Cup finals here in New York City. And just a reset here. I'm Golden Boy along with Monster D-Face, and this has been quite the day. 3 games so far, did not disappoint. In Game 1, we ended up seeing a huge victory from Bugha, who managed to pull it away in glorious fashion. And then Skype in game number 2, just outpositioning Dubs. But Dubs got his redemption and picked up a Game 3 win just now. He said with Jordan that he wanted to remain consistent. He's been playing the baller play. There's a lot of strategies that players can implement here in competitive Fortnite, Monster.
Yeah, you saw Dubs game 1 tried to get a little bit more aggressive, opting in to take that fight over by the Greasy Lake, and it did not pay off. So he took his lesson, took his little, spanking, I dare say, right there. He's like, all right, you know what? I'm just going to stay away from that guy. You got to respect him on that rotation. He switched it up, and now he's finding himself in endgame. And that is the kind of adaptability you have to have as a Fortnite professional.
Yeah, it's necessary. 4-time qualified solo player is Dubs. And what I mean by that, when he qualified the first time for this event right here, he queued up again. Each week the solos competition was available.
Did again.
And did it again. And then did it again, and then did it again. That's how good he was. Everyone doubted him. No one knew who this kid was. And then he shocks the world. That my friend, is undisputed. But the next game is going to start up. Game 4 about to begin. New York City, come on, let me hear you. It's about to start. It's about to kick off. These players need your energy. The battle bus is getting loaded. And look at everyone in the stands. What about that Marshmello concert earlier today? Incredible stuff, that live performance from him. You love to see it, but this has been a wild day thus far.
Now the question is, can Bugha, Skype, and Dubs continue to hold their lead? We saw King fall out of the running last game, and it set him back.
That's right.
4 placements.
That's right. That's right. King is going to be someone we have to keep a keen eye on. Not a king eye, a keen eye on.
Keep a king eye on him, too, because
sure, why not?
A king out there.
He really is, man. I think someone on the Fortnite competitive Reddit said, if you have that name and you take out a player like Tfue, you got to live up to it.
That's
you
right.
You got to live up to it. But there's the standings once again to get you all up to speed. Bugha still holding on to his first place position. Skype and Dubs right behind him. Dubs behind Skype by 1 point only. And this is the spread of the island thus far. Paradise Palms, some players are going to start to land over there in just a little bit.
Dude, Frosty Flights, what is going on there? I see 7 arrows or so just outside of where Dubs is currently positioned. Dubs, our last match winner, in great fashion. You can see he's playing the crack shot house here where tons of chests spawn.
I'm also noticing over at the block, I saw another player there. I did not expect that, another body by the block, but he ended up disengaging out of there. And Clarity G off screen, Legendian as well. They're going to be some of the first to fall in game 4.
Here's a nice little fun fact. 46 of 68 points were scored in the online opens through Dubs' placement strictly. So he definitely knows how to get to endgame. We already know him as one of the most mechanically gifted players, especially with his duo partner Mega, who, by the way, they're both qualifying. One of the only teams that are full qualified.
And sitting right next to one another as well, as you saw when Dubs picked up the win. His first person to congratulate him, his teammate Mega. Now, Rux. There you go. That's what I want out of Rux. At the start, Arkram. That is a big elimination. Shaking the head, shaking the head.
Feels bad, man.
Oh, and
when friends collide, yeah. Ouch.
Yeah, that is a rough one. Then you got Nix and Niddle. Nix, a Brazilian player. He was clinical during the qualifiers. Always seeing him in the top 10 each and every week that he played. Everyone in the region, everyone in the Brazil region knows how good Nix is. There's one player right below him, and maybe Niddle is going to experience that for himself. Nix does have that life lead here. We'll have that shield advantage. Niddle a little weak on the HP side as well.
Listen, Nix is here to show why he's the first qualified solo and duo player from the Brazilian region. There's only a few players who have the title of being fully qualified or double qualified for the competition here. Nix is one of them.
He's hearing all that movement up above him. Niddle does have the high ground. He goes in for the challenge, and that's Nix doing it for the region, doing it for Brazil. More cowbell, please.
Nix versus Niddle. Nix comes out on top. He wiggles his finger at the camera and says, no, no, not today. Snobby Shores is his home here.
And the good news is he won't get eliminated right away after he does a little motion to the camera. You gotta think I love you, buddy.
You know, no instant karma for him.
No instant karma for him.
Taking a look at Moffin. One of our few players representing for the Asian region here.
Japan as well, 15 years of age. Got a lot of great players from Japan that have joined us in New York City this weekend.
Tons of young competitors. We saw a great performance from Sinnoh and O-King yesterday, but Letwike and Twins, they've really been going at it here and in Paradise Palms.
The only players here, so the winner of this one's gonna take it all. 7 builds for Letwike currently. HP, little dire. Twins also gonna be in a rough spot too, and then won't get an opportunity to be able to pop that big potion there unless he goes for it. Okay, he's making it happen. He's going for the big potion pop, and he does get it. That's gonna give him a slight advantage in this fight.
The difference was no hesitation here as Letwike is going back in it, even with the health disadvantage here.
Oh, that shield's gonna be gone out of that one monster. Let does go up above him, and no! Twins got caught looking. And that's Let, who will benefit with that Chug Jug.
I'll tell you this, so much confidence. Confidence is key when it comes down to these PvP battles. He just went all the way, he was committed, and he was, you know, hell-bent on getting the win there. But Ghost Issa, we haven't seen any Shifty Shafts action all weekend long. Good to see Ghost Issa here on the main stage, as he deserves as much love as anyone else. What's he gonna do? How's he gonna represent for himself and his fans?
It's a battle, cross-regional battle here between Moffin and Issa. Moffin from Japan, putting this region on the map, perhaps. Issa, well-known player in the space. He's been at this for quite a while. Off screen, you just saw King's name in the action feed against Teak. Another shot, actually. Issa getting third-partied. And sometimes when you're in these fights, you just don't expect when another player, they're gonna hear the gunfire. So they're gonna try and push the fight, maybe get an advantage out of it. And it's Mega! Mega marches on in and gets the better of Issa. Now it's gonna have to deal with Moffin. Does not have that floor quite yet. Moffin's holding it down. Does he get the hack through? Moffin goes in for the fight, but that's gonna be another one. Number 2 for the Mega Man.
We wanted some Shifty Shafts action, and we got it right there. They are just unfortunately in the warpath of Mega. He lands right outside of this area. Good on him to rotate through here and catch him off guard. Here's a nice little replay from
That was Teak. That was
King
the
taking out Teak.
Yeah, the King elimination on Teak. Huge for him.
All right, Unknown Army. We touched up on him in his pass earlier today. At one point, he was actually somewhat shunned out of the competitive discords for being too aggressive. Little did he know that was the perfect way to find himself here at the World Cup stage, because it was all about pushing players and getting eliminations.
Everyone has their opinion and strong opinions on within the competitive community.
I'll tell you this, he came right back as being everyone's, you know, favorite friend all of a sudden.
That's good, that's good. Obviously, it's, you know, this is a competitive game that is still continuing to evolve and grow. Players, you know, trying to learn one another's personalities and stuff. I understand we do have a replay, though, from one of the other eliminations that had happened earlier on. This is Pika. Look at this, Pika jumping forward, finds one in front. That's the third party, and this player now having to look at Pika, but that was nasty. Pika made him pay.
Pika ordered a quick 2-piece chicken nugget, and Aqua was a part of it. That's so
Deep fried
unfortunate. Aqua's really been struggling so far in the solo competition, but I'm sure it's a breeze for him now, being that he had such a huge day yesterday. But jumping in with Zayt here.
Right now, Aqua's playing with house money. That's what we like to say. Huge performance from Zayt yesterday, but unfortunately for him, not going to be the case in Game 4. Hood J, his first elimination is on to one of Fortnite's greats, Zayt. But the fight continues against Dracons.
It's an artillery strike right here, and Dracons is going to have to back up here. As Hood J is going to get a moment of peace because he's in the lowest level. He doesn't have to worry too much. Dracons trying to axe his way through the metal, and he's trying to loot right there. That's his loot, respectively, if he can snatch it really quickly, but no, he's more focused on this battle right now.
And
sets up a cone as well.
And Dracons, you know, from the Brazilian region, so there's just aggression. That's what they do. They'll go after the fights, and they want to get in your face. They don't care. They don't care what region you're from.
Absolutely loving the rhythm right now. He's really messing with the cadence of his axes, but he's going to get punished. And now he's the one who's on the defense right here as he backs up and takes a defensive stance to go ahead and heal.
Doesn't have any shields, no minis, unlike Hood J, who has 2 more remaining. As well as some bandages.
Allow him to bounce back. He's got all the mats now, Golden Boy.
Yeah, he's got everything to work with. Sometimes you gotta go, just farm up, pick up as much as you can, or maybe even disengage from a fight. It may not be worth it. It's okay to disengage. Play the safe game. There's no reason that you gotta get aggressive, get in their face. We understand that is what the region likes to do, but in this instance, hey, you're playing for the long game.
Yeah, and I talked with Macwood and Calculator in the Players Lounge for a while, and I asked him, what do you do if someone disengages? Do you respect a good disengage? And he says, depends, you know? If both of you guys are in a weird situation, they'll give it up.
There's no reason for you to go for a fight that you're just not comfortable with. Crew, though, he's looking for a fight right now. Has his player playing a little defense, but he ends up getting tagged, and now it's going to be him on the back foot. Has to take a moment. Pop a mini.
That was a best case scenario for him because he still has full whites here. He did not lose normal health points. It was just his shield that was ripped off there.
Two quality players right now scrambling against one another. Pika, get rid of the trees so that you can get above. You also get a little bit more resources out of this, perhaps. And it's right in front. Oh, man. Played around the corner there. And then Pika, he just had that brief moment to move away. Saw him move ever so slightly down low. Just saw the tip of his head.
This is an intense battle. Pika versus Crew. Crew, a double qualified competitor here. Didn't play in the duos competition yesterday. And of the two, he's the one who just goes in. He's not the IGL. Let's see how he can handle himself here when just playing solos now. And he's in the zone. He's found himself in the zone.
Yeah, they're going to get ticked for one in the zone, and they're pretty far from it.
He doesn't want to play off that camera angle, but he's going to chuck a brilliant grenade right there. It's going to open up the box.
Now you're inside of the Storm Monster. What do? You're engaging in this fight. You're losing health little by little. What's the play now? Oh no!
Got the med kit, but he couldn't connect.
The play was just to go for it. Pika gets the better, but he's going to continue to tick for health. Does have a launch pad though. Can fly back. He's really far from the safe zone.
And I just gotta say, that was Crew's game to win. He managed to turn it around and get that right camera dominant angle back, and he could have had it at that moment, but Pika's prime positioning put him over the ramp. He lost sight of him, and he let his guard down, and he got punished for it.
And this is from Pika's perspective and how he got the better of Crew with the burst SMG. The weapon that I happen to favor quite a bit. I like it, although I do like to set myself up for failure sometimes, so I'll pick up the burst SMG. It won't really end that well for me, but for these players here, they know how to take advantage of each item in Fortnite. They're so good at really working with what's in front of them. Now the format, as we had mentioned before, we're pretty far from it, okay? So when you get to 25th place, that's when the placement points start to tick, but each elimination is gonna give a crucial point. These have been some low point games. If you watch the online qualifiers wondering, man, we're seeing players getting 60, 70, 80 points, even 100 in some instances. Those are the online qualifiers, a different format. These are the best players in the world going against one another. The gameplay is going to slow down just a little bit as they all fight for the positioning.
Yeah, this is definitely that time in the game when everyone kind of positions up and the heavy congestion begins, but King doesn't care about that because he's King. He's looking for a fight in arguably the worst zone to fight in, approaching zone 4 and 5 here.
He's a savage. He's a savage. He does not want anyone else to sit up upon that throne. It should only be him, but it's okay. Sometimes you don't have to be that thirsty. You can move away. That player popped that ramp in front of him. He gets out.
And look at this, look at that. That was so brilliant. He changes his angle there. He says, you know, I'm not gonna use this side. I'm gonna go around and start collapsing in on you, just losing or pushing that player out in uncomfortable ways.
Oh, I like this. He's going down low.
Master at finding angles here. He's just looking for the best way to break apart his opponent right now, and he's really playing mind games. Now, suddenly, this guy doesn't know what side he's safe on. He's losing all forms of real estate right here.
You know, King, he just constantly wants to be in your face. He's done it in each game that has happened, and he always seems to just know where everyone is. Like that is a trait that you know, a lot of the players that are up here, they do have it, but in this South American region like this, where there have been obviously not a lot of players coming out of this for this particular tournament, I think King has put this region on the map without a doubt.
He is truly representing here. This King's tracking is phenomenal. He's still keeping track of Tuesday here. Now deciding he's going to replenish some materials and refortify all of this area. Sanctioning to himself here. This is why he's in the running in the top 10 here. We saw him get taken out earlier before, but this is why he plays the high risk, high reward. And if I'm being honest, that's how you take first place. You put it all out there and
go
hope
big or go home.
Everything goes in your favor, honestly.
Go big or go home. King of the fight. over on the mountain there. Tuzi's next to him, as well as Keemstar. And King, he's gone. He's flying over to the next target here.
He just doesn't stop. Into another box fight he goes. And now he's going to reposition here and set up for the prime push.
This is ridiculous.
Look, he's still going.
He does not care, people. King wants to jump into your box. It's his box now! Oh, what a beast! What a beast!
He's not here to play. Laser's going to go down. King.
Bow down.
We thought Booga was one of the best box fighters. Hold up, it's time to do some reviews here, because King is putting himself on the map here.
All I want, Bala, if you're listening, I just want you to do a VOD review of King, okay?
Get us a VOD review, please.
Hopefully we can just agree on that. Wild stuff, man. Gets the window, boom, right to the face. Right to the kisser.
He's already looking.
What's wild about that fight, too, is a lot of players would have just stayed stationary in that position. Storm was coming in.
They would have been content with being somewhere safe in the
He had a
next
target,
zone.
and he just went right for it.
Incredible. Here we have Dubs now. Center zone. Still has a baller. Bucky still in the running here. Leshy also getting right next to Dubs. Also has a baller, so they're probably not going to get into too much of a battle, but who knows?
Maybe they'll be
Storm
baller
Surge
buddies.
is still a thing. Maybe they'll be baller buddies.
Maybe. But you're right, though, about the Storm Surge. You really are, because if you're not putting in damage, 0 eliminations for Leshy right now. How many fights has he actually gotten into? Someone's going to be above. There's Dubs. Minigun. That minigun goes right through your builds. Very powerful against structures.
Dubs, only with 2 eliminations, is actually the match leader, and that's because he's just pinging other players. Yes, just damage leader. And we just talked about Storm Surge. That's why you want to be proactive. You want to shoot at anything that moves. Because realistically, you don't know when you're going to find yourself in that precarious situation where you have to push someone like pretty much with, without wanting to.
And we were talking about this before we jumped on the cast. I think it was Zayt we were discussing. He was really good at not putting himself in a position, but still to get hurt, but still take shots. And Benji fishy against Storm. First elim for him there.
Saw that. He put the trap above his head through the window edit, opens it up and hits him with the pump.
And now we're on his perspective. But as we were mentioning before, sometimes from a safe position, go for the shots. Go for the shots. Maybe you get a few ticks. Damage perhaps. And King, he's taking fights outside as well.
King is still here to play Golden.
2 eliminations. 53 builds for him. Running with that blue combat shotgun. Great range on that item. It's far away, though, from where the half-in, half-out circle is going to be. We're at Zone 5. This is when things start to get a little crazy. What does King have as an option here? Is he looking for people on the move and then punishing them? Maybe trying to get the community launch pad, perhaps, if someone throws that down. What is he looking for here?
It really wouldn't even surprise me if he's just looking for elimination to recap on materials right now, because he doesn't have enough to full tunnel across here. Knowing his playstyle, he's probably going to want to push here. And there it is. He actually found a launch pad, so his game awareness was at an all-time high here. And take a look here. Tfue, nice little replay right there. One of his first elims.
First point, as a matter of fact, against Kurtz. Tfue on the board. But King, what are the chances of that one? He had a good old community launch pad right there. Great neighbors.
Paying attention to what's going on here. Can Tfue make a big comeback for himself here?
A little concerned about that player who had edited out. And Tfue did have the mark on him. That guy, though, you hate that one. When you just get focused on so much. You're out and about, trying your best to stay up in this game. And then everyone looks at you, and Tfue again, he's doing damage, but he's not getting the elimination. Other people are siphoning those away from him.
Yes, Prisionero was just snatched from him. That's another point that unfortunately does not go his way here. He does have some shadow bombs though, so he will be able to make it to this next zone. He decides that he's close enough to try and tarp in, but now he becomes the target of the server because he's only building in wood here.
People can take note of the structures being used. That will give you an indication as to where they are currently. Players do build around 2-box metal, perhaps. Metal, the strongest structure. In case you're wondering, maybe you're watching for the first time, wondering what's going on here. Your Game 3 winner, Dubs. 2 eliminations, still has that baller, but it is a very weak baller. I mean, look at that thing, it is cracked up.
Not only that, he doesn't have health either. He is very, very weak here. He has tons of materials though. He just has to play for placement to continue to hold this lead that he has right now on the competition. King gets taken out by Mongrone, fortunately, right there, and Bugga is still in the running here as he catches Quexy, and the kill feed is lighting up right now as players are dropping, and we're approaching placement points finally here.
We're getting very close to it, Monster. Once we hit 25th place, everyone's going to start to earn some points. Right at the side of your screen, 3 points for everyone still alive, but Dubs, and we mentioned it, that baller was in dire straits. It was not going to be able to survive another rotation, and neither was he with the HP that he had currently. Then the rotations, everyone's starting to move here. They have some shadow bombs. They're going to use those and get to the other side, get to the safe area, build around and protect themselves, and hope that they can continue to gain more placements as we take a look at the overhead.
That's right. He was holding his breath because he needed to get that top 25. He didn't break it through in time. Everyone left in the game has already gotten placement points here, but you want to play for the next threshold. You want to continue to stay in this game here, as that's exactly what Tifu's doing with the Shadow Bomb, hopping around the builds here, trying to keep a low profile. Bizzle still in the running. One of the innovators when it comes down to tarping and pushing out with effective and clean builds.
Just one of the greats of Fortnite altogether. On the side, I was looking at this fight between Ruxin and Riversand. Riversand went for high ground numerous times, and Tifu gets eliminated by Mongrel. And then Rux has high ground, as you see on your screen to the left. Then you have Bizzle, still very much in this one. Takamura with 4 eliminations and earning placement points as more players begin to fall. And we're coming down to the final moments, Monster.
That's right, we are. And we're gonna jump into Takamura's POV here because he has 4 eliminations, and he doesn't plan on stopping. Neither does Magro, because Magro catches Benji Fishy as well. Taking a look here at Takamura, tarping out. He is going to fall down, and he's going to get shot a few times here. What's he going to do is he's going for the high ground. He sees an opportunity. It's his to take. Now jumping over with Magro, who's in the low ground. Drops another player right here. Is he going to be able to connect in full? Can he convert here? He does not.
So many players are landing in front of Mongrel here. Coming down to the wire, top 9 remaining. 1 in front of Mongrel. Does he get the elim? He manages to just get away by the skin of his teeth. And now Mongrel gets up to the high ground, maybe using this. If you keep jumping on the wall, you won't go out of the shadow state. He gets up top, but there's no one going to be there. There's a person all the way above him, knocks the structure down, and the player does manage to catch himself and maintain the high ground positioning here. We have some great players still left in this game, but Mongrel with 4 eliminations is looking for number 5, and that was on Nate. We're now down to the final moments, top 5 Monster.
He had to fully commit there. Those are the maps that he needed. He's still in the game here. He's going to go all the way for it, and that's a trade out with the 109 to the face here.
Huge elimination on Takamura. We're into a 1v1v1v1. Top 4 players now. Mongrel in the ultimate low ground, going up against a player. It's got to be Bugga. The game 1 winner will not be enough against Mongrel, who does get picked quite a bit. He loses a lot of HP. No more builds, but the victory royale goes to the veteran Som, who manages to pick up a massive win.
Using the shockwaves in the final moments to snatch the high ground, Som claims a victory, but it's Mongrel who had a ton of eliminations and really was the ruining factor for so many of our top 10 competitors in that round right there.
Mongrel was running a rough shot in the ultimate low ground, but it's Som, the vet. He has performed in so many competitions at a high level, and it's no surprise here. When Som gets that high ground, everyone needs to look out. He's so good at that. Mongrel had no builds left. He had no HP to work with. He did the job he needed to do. Top 2, he got 2nd place and a bunch of eliminations. And Shockwave's late game again, Monster. Such a great piece of equipment that you can use.
Love that right there. Stands up, flexes, hits us with the let's go. He's feeling good. And that's a huge accomplishment to take a victory. And just you only have so many opportunities to win a game here. Just to do that alone, it's magnificent.
Yeah, it really, magnificent is the best word that I could think of at those final moments. Games 3 and 4 certainly did not disappoint. Oh, that was a wild, wild game. Here are the standings, though. Bugha still holding on to first place. Look how far ahead he is. 8 points currently, but Psalm now jumps in to second place. Nate in third. Riversand, who's managed to put together some great games, is in fourth. Rux as well. Epic Whale in sixth. Skite and Dubs get knocked down to 7 and 8. And King, who has been very aggressive, is in 9th. And then Peter Pan from South Korea in 10th place.
Doing so good. The last player we saw in 11th place, Epic Whale, shot himself up to that front page, guys. So don't count out Andretta, Benji, Savage, or anyone else here in the top 20 because they have what it takes. Look at how close the point threshold is.
Yeah.
Everyone is in the running for top 10 right here, and that's life-changing prize on the line here. The stakes are so high.
Yeah, the gap is so small, and these players have the capability of being able to get into the top 10. 2 more games remain. I wonder who's going to take it all, but let's go down to the stage. We got Jordan standing by with our Game 4 winner, Psalm.
And a huge Game 4 win for Psalm. Now sitting at second place in the standings, feeling really, really good right now. We're just talking about that high ground take. You said, I didn't think that it was going to work, but real domination right there at the end. What was your thought process going up against such a stacked final 10 people? I mean, some of the players that were there are all capable of clutching this up.
After I got the high ground, I was just focused on playing safe, make sure I don't lose the high ground, make sure, no one impulses up to take my high ground. And then, I let everyone on the ground do their thing, and then I clean up.
And the cleanup was real. Back to you, Golden Boy and Monster D-Face.
Always a pleasure to hear from Psalm, a veteran in competitive Fortnite and doing it once again. No shocker there. You take the risk, you make the bold play, and sometimes it pays off. And in that instance, it definitely did. He's coming out quite pretty from there. I believe, was it second place, currently in the standings. That was a nutty game, man.
He's been in top 10 this whole time. Since the competition has begun, he's been chipping away at placement. And that last one was a huge victory for him. And that is exactly what he wanted and needed here to keep him relevant.
Yeah, so many great moments in that game. And while we had the best seat in the house, there were some moments that maybe we didn't catch. And the good news is we got one of the best VOD reviewers in the game. Balla standing by to break it all down.
Thank you so much, GB. Yes, we have 2 games remaining, and it looks like Psalm and Bugha repeating that first game success early on. They're going to move forward at the top of the leaderboard, but for now, we're going to take a look at some of Rux's performances and some of his shots that pushed him up to 5th. So while we roll these clips, Rux, in the end game, first, he set himself up brilliantly in the early game against Arkram. We've talked about Arkram a number of times. This duel has been going on every single game here. Rux takes the better of Arkram and gets the loadout that he needs to push on forward here with the infantry rifle and the combat shotgun and heals to boot. Only 1 mat remaining through this entire time. Doesn't quite get those mats after finding the elimination onto Core Gaming, so he's working through old structures here, other players' structures. And that's when you start going sneaky beaky mode. He stays crouched, make sure that no sound is coming through for that elimination onto Slaya. He had high ground at this position. A nice shot there onto Light. Unbelievable flick shot with the combat shotgun. And then this is when I believe it was somebody else took high ground here. Beautiful retake. It's Stompy. Rux brings himself up into 5th place with that. We'll see if he continues to climb. But for now, we've got 2 more games to go. Gentlemen, back to you.
Thank you so much for breaking that down, Balla. Rux, who has been time and time again showing up in the top 10. We always see his name, whether it be solos or even in duos, along with his teammate Pika. They always have great events. So no shocker there. But this is, what a wild ride, right? We've been on 10 weeks up until this point. All these players from around the world. I love looking at that top 10 as well, man, because it truly is a great international game that we have here with Fortnite.
Yeah, you saw it unfold. Like, who would have thought King would be the man to show up today and be like, honestly, the energy for the arena here, because he has had some of the wildest moments so far in his journey through this World Cup weekend.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's been a wild ride here, but that's going to do it for myself and Monster D-Face the Boricua boys. There we go, brother. Always a pleasure to cast with you. Now we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, Courage and Dr. Lupo take the stage one more time, and then we crown our Fortnite World Champion. We'll see you in just a few.
Hello, Fortnite fam. I am PookieFace _. I am joined here at the front of house with David, and we're going to talk a little bit about how all of these systems work, how we are bringing the Pro-Am, Creative Cup, and the World Cup to you guys this weekend. So David, nice to meet you. Thank you for joining me here. What do all of these buttons do behind us? Tell me a little bit about what all of the technical things are here.
So basically this is controlling all of the lighting and all of the video for the entire show. We're pushing out all of the videos that you see on all the screens, any camera shots that go up there. And then we're also making sure that all the lights are at the right levels for player faces and everything else.
So it's your job to just make everyone look great, is technically what you're saying.
Absolutely.
Now, I know that you have some facts about the lights, the LEDs. Give me a little bit of some factoids about how all of this production pulls power and, you know, what goes into all of this.
Absolutely. There's about 1,200 lighting fixtures in the room currently. We have about 18 4K video outputs to go to all the big screens. We're running about 98 million pixels worth of video space, and it's taking about 2,000 amps of power, which is about enough to run about 15 homes.
Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today, introduce me to all of these working parts. But there are so many more things that go into all of this. So when you guys are out in the stands watching the World Cup this weekend, you have David to thank for everything.
Dub said, look, I've qualified. I'm just going to come back and just flex on literally the entire region.
It's ridiculous. I mean, the fact that you can be so consistently good in one of the major regions. The best of the best aren't concerned with just barely making it. They want to win every fight. They want every point. That's why he's in first. There's a reason he's one of the best solo players on the planet.
안녕하세요. 저는 이제 팩스폭스라고 하고요. 저는 아시아 서버에서 이제 뉴욕 진출했고요. 이제 나이는 17살입니다. 저는 이제 위크 1에서 이제 처음에 솔로 4연승을 해가지고 초반에 이 점수를 거의 다 따가지고 그냥 후반에 맘 놓고 하고.
4 victory royales and he averaged 8 elims. Obviously first place. That's unbelievable.
이제 아시아는 스크림 같은 게 없기 때문에 저는 연습을 제대로 별로 못했기 때문에 아마도 일단 운에 맡겨야 될 것 같습니다.
Hi, New York City.
Oh, okay, Faxlox. I'll take you out for a good pizza. I know a couple good spots.
이제 한국에는 포트나이트 유저가 별로 없는데 진짜 응원하겠습니다.
Hey Fortnite fam, BallaTW here to get in the nitty-gritty of competitive Fortnite. The final circles in competitive Fortnite are packed tightly with both action and players, all fighting to get the victory royale. Let's introduce one of the most common techniques used to outlast your opponents in those congested final zones. What is tunneling? Also known as snaking or pathing, this is when you build a protected tunnel while running away from the storm and into the next safe zone. When these safe zones get so small, this becomes very, very important, as there can be opposing players on all sides of you. Here's an example of the most basic tunnel, the straight tunnel. From your base, you simply build straight towards your destination straight ahead of you, with a floor piece below your feet and above your head. This is the most basic and also dangerous version of the tunnel, since you're not covering horizontally. You're exposed from your sides. However, you save materials by doing this. The materials you spend covering your sides quickly add up. Then, if you need to go diagonally to get where you need to go, you'll often see players do the diagonal tunnel. At its most basic, it's very similar. You're just changing directions as you go, once left, once right. This is very useful since sometimes you'll encounter enemies that you want to get away from on the road to the victory royale, or the next safe zone is in a diagonal direction. So just change directions and move, but make sure to stay safe from the storm. Now we talked about how you're exposed from your sides. In both versions, you can add walls to either side, or both left and right, or even in front as well. This gets really hard really fast, and this is why it's so impressive that not only are these high-level players tunneling so fast and without error, but at the same time going for crazy plays on unsuspecting opponents to rack up elimination points as well as placement points. It's a lot to take in, and oftentimes they do things so fast that you can't even keep up. Watching players like Cease, Bizzle, Mongrel, Benji Fishy, and all the players playing in the Fortnite World Cup Online Open play from their tunnels can be jaw-dropping. So there you have it, tunneling, one of the most important skills in competitive Fortnite. It's pretty simple at its core, but at the high pace of these congested endgames, it gets complicated. That means you need to practice, and make sure to hop in creative mode and do just that. You can practice it in the open on your own island, or use one of the many amazing pre-built training courses that creators have made. This was BallaTW, and we'll see you in game.
My name is Turner, aka Tifu. I qualified from the North American East region.
This is not.
Wait. Trying to sneak him in. Can you get him to drop in?
Oh my! What is that angle?
He hits all of the shots.
The day I qualified, I was pretty hyped. I didn't even believe it was real at the time. I don't know. I was just kind of streaming, grinding, doing my own thing, and I tried my hardest and succeeded, I guess.
Landing all the way up top, drops in.
100. Follow through on the shot. Literally reading my mind.
He's a special player, a generational talent. He has qualities that not a lot of young players have. He's so mature, so dedicated, very rare to see.
힘들어. 안녕하세요. 저의 이름은 김도환이고 플레이어 닉네임은 후드제이입니다. 나이는 그리고 14살입니다.
He's disciplined.
Hoodjay drops down.
He's focused.
That was an ambitious play.
He wants to push it.
What a charge through the box in there.
That's what he needs to do to become the best. 여기 간 다음에 제일 중요한 거는 이걸 타고 여기부터 먹어. 요 지금 쪽에 그 상자. I'm Juno. 이거부터 먹고. I'm the coach for T1's Fortnite division. 페이탈은 여기 안 밀어. 여기는 거의 완전. I first met Hoodjay when he was a free agent. 제일 베스트가 아이스크림 먹고 아이스크림 안 He's the youngest player in our team.
저는 포트나이트 선수로서 일산에 있는 아파트에서 팀원들과 함께 구단에서 생활하고 있습니다.
야, 웃으면서 해.
볼거리가 가장 많고 저희 팀원은 가족 같고 가족보다 뭔가 좀 더 끈끈하고 좀 더 위인 그런 팀인 것 같습니다.
The team really looks at Hood J as the little brother that everybody wants to take care of.
저는 일어나자마자 바로 옆방에 있는 연습실에서 포트나이트를 할 수 있다는 거에 대해서
His tempo is quite a bit faster than a lot of the other players.
Hood J runs on forward.
아무래도 건설이라든지 편집이라든지 그런 부분이 좀 재미있어서이기도 하고 제 목표를 달성할 수 있기 때문입니다. 저는 포트나이트 게임을 시작할 때 이기자라는 목적으로 많이 시작합니다.
Tags him and brings him down to the victory royale.
He wants to always be creative, always change up his playstyle and steal the tempo from his opponents.
여보세요, 엄마. 잘 지내시죠? 요즘 어떻게 지내세요? 네, 걱정 안 하셔도 돼요. 제가 끝나면은 진짜 자랑스럽게 해드릴게요. 꼭 몸 관리 잘하시고 월드컵 끝나면 바로 갈게요, 집으로. 네. 세계 최고 플레이어가 되고 싶은 이유는 아무래도 부모님인 것 같습니다. 가끔씩 부모님이라는 생각이 가끔씩 들어서 그게 동기부여가 되지 않나 싶습니다.
Hood J hasn't realized how talented he is just yet.
I am just so impressed with what I'm seeing here from Hood J.
He has that potential to become the greatest of all time.
Ladies and gentlemen, it all comes down to this. Millions watching across the world. On the biggest stage. Every single player out here, an absolute gamer, Jack. We've never seen anything like this. Best shadow bomb use I've ever seen, Mr. Savage M. I don't miss my shot. I don't miss my shots. He's the player there. Runs out in the storm. Jumps. Finds him. Yeah!
Qualifying for the World Cup was a major step for me to actually help out my family.
I'm so happy we made it. This is literally like a dream.
I was freaking out. It was awesome.
Oh, Sando messaged me. He said, hey, congrats on qualifying.
Pressure's on here. He's got to get on that point move on. Here it is. He's got the PX. Now is why he's a World Cup qualifier. This is it right here. The 1v1. Who is the other one? Can he hit it? Oh my God! This is freaking legend. Are you kidding me? What a win! Victory Royale. GG.
Ladies and gentlemen, huge shout out to Mike Realm spinning over there, guys. Give it up for him. And now we are one step closer to crowning our first Fortnite World Champions in solos. History is about to be made here, folks. And now I want to ask everyone here in the arena, are you ready? Let's do it one more time. I'm going to ask you again. Are you for the last 2 games, Courage and Dr. Lupo.
Over a year ago, the Fortnite World Cup was announced, and here today it culminates in the final 2 games of the solos competition. $30 million in prize money this weekend, and in 2 games, Dr. Lupo, we will crown another Fortnite World Champion.
We've seen a ridiculous number of plays from everybody on the field. Even moments like King going out, literally the first eliminated one game immediately after, just slaying out in the lobby. We love to see gameplay like that. Very aggressive from a number of players that honestly a lot of us didn't even expect to show up on the board. You have to remember though, every single player that has qualified for the solo finals here at the Fortnite World Cup in New York City is at the top of their game. 40 million people played through. This is what's left, the best of the best of the best.
We know the storylines continue throughout this lobby of the 100 best players in the world. We have 2 games left. Our standings, well, they're very close, and Sundown's going to update us on where they lock up.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage, with only 2 matches left to decide who is the world champion solo player, who is the best of the best of the best. We're gonna take a look at what the standings currently look like and what needs to happen. So the first thing you're gonna see right away is the runaway train Bugha up top. 1 victory royale, leading the pack with 15 eliminations at 37 points, 8 points clear. But we talked about it a little bit yesterday and a lot during the qualifiers. What is a reasonable game to expect? We've seen a lot of the victory royales today actually coming from more passive players. They've been getting around 11 to 12 points apiece. We've been seeing high volume eliminations happening in the early and the mid game. But right now, looking at this board, Peter Pan sitting in 10th place right now is just off of the mark. He's 16 or 18 points off. With a reasonable game, he could challenge towards that. Let's take a look at the second page, because then from 10th to 20th, it is a 4-point difference. Mongrel, with a fantastic performance in the last game, pushes himself into contention, and this top 20 is the line where you will see an increase in that prize bonus. You want to be at minimum on this page when all is said and done. 2 matches are left. We have already seen world champions crowned in creative and duo. Who will be the ultimate victory royale and who will take home the title? We're gonna throw it back inside and see the final 2 matches. Lupo, Courage, let's take it home.
Thank you, Sundown. The standings so close, all for the coveted trophy that you see on your screen, the title of Fortnite World Champion. 15 million just for this solos competition, 3 million for first. With 2 more games left, who do you think comes out on top?
I would love to see the 13-year-old from the South America, King, show up big. I mean, he's put on a fantastic show thus far. You have to remember, just 1 slip up, 1 bad game, that's not enough to take you out of the lead. He very easily, a solid high elim game, a top placement, doesn't even have to be a victory royale at this point. With how well he's played. He could make his way to the top with ease.
Can anyone catch Bugha at the top of our leaderboards? The lobby is ready. Ladies and gentlemen, the battle bus launches in 2, 1. Game 5 underway of the Fortnite World Cup Finals Solos competition. Can they catch Bugha? His lead remains from the incredible shockwave plays earlier. All 100 players in the biggest day of their entire lives fighting for their big share of the, well, $3 million first place spot, 15 million in total.
From last game, saw him a last-minute clutch there. Took home a victory royale. We're going to watch his drop in here as well as everybody else near the top of this board. As we go into these later matches, folks, keep in mind we're going to try and keep an eye on those that are closest to contention for that world champion position. Very, very important to know that. Go to the board there. You see 4 of the 5 llamas in the very south edge of the map, starting at Salty all the way down to the east of Happy Hamlet. 1 more all the way to the top middle. Those getting picked up early are very, very important. A baller for Psalm already at the beginning of the game. It's like he may have been the only one to drop up here. And are you kidding me? A Jug, a proxy grenade launcher?
I was like, sure. He's only averaging 1 limb per match, you see, but he's in second place. So the value's so key for placement. Has placed in the top 18 of every match. So we played 4 games. That means he's gotten placement points in every single match so far, Dr. Lupo. It's a big reason why he finds himself in second place. To be that consistent in this lobby, absolutely insane.
Gotta break 25 to get those points.
Arkram, Rux, fighting out in Westworld, as people do call it, this desert town. Arkram has had a couple games where he's just basically got fried right off the start. Can he turn it around right now? He was top 15 earlier. Doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Rux, who's gotten the better of him a few of these previous games, having it back on it for a moment as that airstrike did come down.
Don't count him out just yet, though. This drop, honestly, one of the loot heaviest in the game. You have a lot of materials as well. A player like this, he gets in a good position, maybe even takes out Rux, doesn't have to fight anybody else down here. He can climb his way out of here with ease.
9 grenades in Rux's inventory. If he could somehow bait Arkram into a bad spot and use those to his advantage, it could be the thing that swings the tide in this battle. Hasn't thrown the Chug Splashes. I was going to say, wondering when he was going to begin to throw them, but there they are. Chug Splash is down. 0 limbs still, as you'd expect, as he's still looking around for where Arkram could be.
Maybe the hope to save those. We didn't have to necessarily use them just yet. Big anticipation of combat before you know it, or at least the chance of it. I'm going to throw those down real quick. 40 HP shield. These two just kind of in a stalemate at the edge of the map, waiting to see if there's an opportunity to make a play. They are outside of the safe zone quite a bit. So at some point, the zip lines or even the quad that spawns here might be the key to getting all the way into the safe zone soon. Grenades going out, but beamed. Rux takes quite a bit of damage from Arkram, and aggression begins. The build up, and he's going to try and take the high ground. Shots from Rux, no contact just yet. He's going to have to do some damage before you know it. Only 96 HP is not going to necessarily be enough against a player with accuracy like Arkram's.
But he does have the combat shotgun, which is the ultimate tool this early in the game. Rux still at 96 health, has those grenades in his back pocket. Hasn't thrown any more yet. 15 builds still remaining. A very intense fight for these two. The shot comes through. Down to just 41 HP. Rux versus Arkram. Who can come out on top? Rux still with high ground. Arkram down below. Will he begin to throw these grenades? It doesn't appear so. Only 6 builds left. And remember, with only 2 games remaining in the competition today, this could spell disaster for their final performance. Arkram popping 1 shield. Definitely has a major health advantage, but still, height can make all the difference as he has the combat shotgun, but looks like for now he'll just back on up.
I was anticipating if Rux had made a tag, if he gotten damage on Arkram down at the bottom of that building, I would have expected a push, 100%. A chance to pick up that the 50 HP or shield because of Siphon. No damage dealt there, so Rux decides to opt his way out. King, one of our high elim players, 35 HP, gonna try and get that med kit off, but he can't quite. Time to fight it out. A little bit of a build battle and see who can take ownership of the walls. King building up and layering yet again.
Oh my goodness.
The shockwave. He's actually going for it. Are you kidding me? Lunezi goes down, and King back up to 85 HP. What a play.
On the World Cup stage.
Yeah, the kid.
He just shockwaved to the sky and tried to hip-fire hand cannon his opponent.
With 35 HP.
Are you kidding me? With 35 health? Talk about confidence. It's such an insane play that it catches the opponent off guard. Stompy trying to push on it. I believe this is Dubs on the other side of the wall. Stompy gets the wall, gets the elim. Down goes Dubs. And also in the elimination feed, Aqua, our Fortnite World Champion from yesterday, has eliminated Tfue.
Match 5 out of 6, 1 left. Those players, the 16 that have already been eliminated, they still have 1 game remaining. But our current leader on the standings, Bugha, down in Lucky Landing, gonna make a rotation away. Avoid any damage. At this point, gonna be the most important thing is getting ahead of the game here. As the storm is pressing on in, he's only against 1 other player down here in Lucky. So the opt to rotate out to the west towards the river, probably the best one in the situation. Doesn't want to get challenged. He's got a free rotation up now. Slip is right there. Without realizing it, too, he is relatively close to 2 llamas in the south edge of the map.
Wonderful spot, either of them. 1 on his left, 1 on his right. I doubt he will since he's going through the low ground, but Booga, so far, man, 3 out of the 4 games has been fantastic performances. He had one where he dropped off early. Remember, he, was eliminated within the first 10 players in the game, but still keeping his lead because of how well he's performed in the other 3 games up to this point. Teak did show some aggression there for a moment, but decides, nope, I'm going to fall on back. Don't want to take this 1v1 out in the open. Would rather go continue to loot on up, earn more materials because, hey, 45 builds, you think, that's a lot, but not in any case in a competitive lobby like this. And, well, since he fell back, he's able to get himself a combat shotgun.
Feel good about that. Clicks in the feed, picking up an elimination on Nate. Down to 81 players remaining as this first circle starts to close. 52 seconds left before that happens.
And this first zone, very central on the map. No super drastic rotations need to come on through. Here's a replay from earlier on of how Aqua challenged and eliminated Tfue. Tfue goes for the slurp, Aqua gets the floor, and Tfue stands no chance, can't even fire a shot. And there's the frustration from Tfue, as he knows he has not had the day he's wanted. One of the biggest names in competitive Fortnite, one of the winningest players of all time, getting shut down here at the Fortnite World Cup solo final.
I would say it's definitely a different playing field than a lot of these players are used to, no matter where they hail from. It's the first time that we've had multiple regions from the entire world all play within the same lobby, the same setups. It's all on land here, so it's just a different scenario for everybody. Especially on top of that, if you have younger players that have never had land experience, nerves can potentially play into it. But she pushing into the box, gets inside, and the elimination. Robabs goes down here in Neo tilted.
And I like that a lot from Lecce, right? Because he's got 200 HP. He's already done a lot of damage to his opponent. He also does 23 more white damage, HP damage to realize, wait, I have a major health advantage as Booga begins to dance on the main stage. But he pushes on in, forces the play, and says, you know what, if you have a trap, I'm still going to survive through it. You're so little HP that I know I'll eliminate you, even if I take 150 damage from the trap. Booga, I mean, I guess this is kind of the mindset he has right now. I'm in first. I've got shadow bombs, I've got a launch pad, I've got everything I need. Banny, if you want to play this game, bro, you can play this game. But Booga dances, and his opponent says, no, thank you. No dance battle for me today. I'll back on up.
It's enough to pressure him to rotate.
Imagine
away.
Dancing and scaring away your opponent. That's when you know you're good at the game.
Whenever you dance, you scare me away too, Jack. Don't worry. 73 players remaining as Cease picks up an elimination. A reminder on the right side of your screen, the format for the day. Match 5 of 6. We have 10 points for a victory royale. You make it to top 5, it's only 7. If you make it to top 15, that's 5. Top 25 is 3. And every elimination on the board is an additional point.
And also keep in mind,
ooh, a big 46. The white damage, a good signal for Booga that player most likely won't challenge unless that's the only thing they have left. No pressure there. Is an opportunity to just rotate away cleanly.
Another thing to keep in mind, you see right there, 40% extra materials when farming. You also have a max count of 500 of each material type. So you cannot carry 1,000 wood or 999 wood, 999 brick, 999 metal. No, it's 500 of each material type. Players building inside this new structure, the corpse of the monster that our glorious mech defeated to save the Fortnite Island.
Hashtag team mech. Ooh, a solid hit there. Scalar going to pressure from above, knowing that ramp was closing it off for just a second. Going to try and take the wall to edit from above.
Surprised he's not throwing a stink.
Doesn't own it just yet. Very good question. At some point, that's going to have to come out. Maybe pressure the player off of that campfire. Still can't get it. There it is. Still can't get it. These stalemates for taking walls, one of the highest pressure situations because you're on the verge of a box fight in which your opponent, you know they're going to push in. They have a trap that might take a wall and place it. Go shotgun shot 160. The blue pump. Very, very powerful.
Yeah, it's a 160 to the jaw right there. That's what people missed about the pump shotgun when it was vaulted. As we all know, recently was brought back into play, and for reasons like that, so good in the up-close fights. It's, for a lot of people, the one spot where it just completely outclasses all other shotguns. Obviously, 4 shotguns in play right now in competitive Fortnite. Storm Surge did pop up, but it went away almost instantly as this lobby has dropped a little bit quicker as things have gone on. People maybe getting more desperate, challenging more early game fights to see if they can get an advantage. Sam, who won our 4th game, using one of these big shields, and look at the inventory right now. Big shields, chug splashes, and I like that a lot. Sam, at first, decides, you know what, let me use this big shield. I'll get the full 50 health out of it. But because his opponent interrupts it, realizes, well, what's the lesser of two evils? That is popping 2 chug splashes, giving myself as much health as possible, and not playing greedy. I like that from Sam, a sign of a veteran player. You got to take what you can get, and that's a perfect example of it right there.
At this point, he's waiting to see if there's an opportunity to sneak a shot through on the surface inside that ramp. He doesn't own it. Every time he does a little bit of damage, he has an opportunity to replace it, and he does, in fact, take it. Push on through, get the wall, goes for the edit, but a big shot from the other side, down to 71. Those chug splashes coming in big. He might have to wait, though, that last one. Don't know if he'll have time to use it. Pressure from the player inside. Rotating down, immediately popping a hole out and getting in his baller. Opts to not take that fight, and probably a very good call, seeing as how he took a ton of damage on the inside where he had a chance to move away. 110 total now. The baller's full HP, though.
Here's Riverson. That legendary bolt sniper rifle. 175 total health to take a bit of damage right there. Often set up on the left side of your screen in a metal box. Really, no one can be challenging that. Fully built metal. It's just something that when you see it in competitive Fortnite with how little ammo you have, you're basically like, all right, I'm not bothering you. You're set up. I'm not bothering you. Just don't peek out and shoot at me, because it's almost impenetrable, it feels like, with how little time you have to shoot and how little ammo you wind up having in these games. A replay from earlier on. This is Smeeth in another one of these close box fights. Gets that ramp. Tries to challenge forward. Basically edited into the opponent's box. That's Hood J. And will get the combat shotgun. So a major upgrade from a common tactical shotgun up to a combat shotty. And I'm sure everyone that plays Fortnite knows just how good that is. But back over to Riverson, who's, well, rolling on through the river.
I just have to say, I'm a little surprised that he opted to take the bolt over the Shadow Bomb. Looking at late game Fortnite, especially in competitive, oftentimes you see stacks of players on top of each other and no opportunity for a snipe. The Shadow Bomb is going to be a mobility he's not going to have. The baller's gone now.
Yeah.
He's inside this box. I don't know why he didn't take the Shadow Jack.
To be honest, I think Riverson viewed that as, all right, I have this baller. I'm going to play around the baller being my, well, Shadow Bombs for this game. And that's not the case. That was what just happened was the worst thing that could have ever occurred for Riverson. His baller's gone. He's got no movement items left, and now he's stuck on this mountain in a box fight.
Just quick note, Epic Whale is currently in 6th position. Riverson in 4th, so this is a battle at the top of the leaderboard, stuck inside a box, a back and forth. And Epic cannot quite find the target. Riverson picking up a big leaderboard elimination right there.
That is a moment where I think nerves gets you a little
100%.
bit. You mentioned top 6. He's thinking in the back of his head, if I have a good game here, moving into the $1 million prize pots. And instead, Riverson wins a fight that looked impossible to win and is now set up on top of a mountain with near max HP.
Real quick look back here, Plug, our current leader. Look at the shots through there. Little shakes the hands off a little bit, blow off some steam. As an arrow goes down inside. Very, very accurate player, Booga. See Bizzle, the top left of your screen, one of the more well-known players, like you said, one of the most consistent players, Jack, in all of Fortnite that we've ever seen. With the speed of the builds up here, Booga gonna try and get a little bit of a higher view. Doesn't want to be stuck down too low in case there's players rotating. Maybe some shots on the baller soon. There's pressure being applied on others and ops into that fight as well.
And if you look at where Booga is right now, on your minimap, the closest player on the west side of that zone, safe, and everyone has to move right towards him. Also, 6 minis, near max builds, 4 shadow bombs, 2 launch pads, a shockwave. Booga knows what a fantastic position he's in. If he can make it to late game, he basically has guaranteed placement points.
Peter Pan making his way through here. A little bit of the leftover collection. We'll have to do some picking up on the inside. Pretty lucky finds on the inside here. Quite a few materials. Flint knock. He's got to redeploy a ton of minis. Pretty optimal loadout for both mid-range, up close, depending on who's pushing him.
Yep.
Positional wise, no launch pads,
but a slipstream.
no shadow bombs. He does have a slip, but as soon as he's away from that thing, flying, he can establish a base, but making a move after that's going to be tough. And he is getting attacked from literally every angle on the way in. Players from all sides taking shots. He's going to have to try and push his way through for an elimination or get out of this area almost immediately. What a tough spot to be in. Shots from both sides. Puts the trap down in anticipation of somebody pushing in and literally cannot keep the walls up enough.
And that's the downside of being one of the last players to rotate from outside the zone. Everyone who's set up, including Bugha, knows, hey, we just spray anyone. They've got to come this way. They're going to be floating right at us. If the whole lobby shoots at them, one of us is bound to get them. We're all going to get damage tags. And when the storm surge just popped up, everyone fiending for a little bit of damage to keep them above that threshold. Thankfully for the players in the lobby, only 2 more people need to drop before storm surge goes away. So don't think it'll come into play too much.
All I can imagine in a situation like that right now is from the Pro-Am, Tim the Tatman getting shot at from multiple sides. And,
yep.
It's just...
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny when...
You were one of them, I think.
Yeah, no, my teammate Sean eliminated him. Tim, we beat Tim the Tatman on LAN and outplaced him as we take a look at players stacked up all on the west side of the zone. What people at home don't know is that we were literally looking at Tim as we say that, which is makes it better. So, launch pad used by Bugha right away, and with 2 launch pads with all this other movement, he just needs to survive this movement. And guess what? This is a zone on the high ground. It's directly on this mountain, so for a pretty early on zone, it's going to get awkward right away. Bugha has made it in, but has taken a lot of damage. Will use some minis to get back up to 150. Has made it to the zone. Benji Fishy just below, who's currently top 13 in this game.
Player to G still has a little bit of a high ground advantage. He's going to look back at Bugha, who's trying to build his way up, see if he can spot anybody on the move. This position still very, very good. The edge of the next safe zone. 2 seconds until that pressure starts to apply, and a lot of players you see on the minimap have already started to rotate in. They're making their moves now, but shots from Bugha and many others as these players are flying in. Community launch pads, some shadow bombs used in situations like this, and no shield on that player. Bugha right now has a total of 16 elims today. King is in second with 15.
This is all it is. You just get set up in the zone, fire people who have to move from the storm. It's the common enemy. Every player in the lobby. Issa did just go down to class, and we also saw Vivid drop a couple moments ago. So nothing really from Vivid this game, unfortunately. Bugha 1 limb so far. Continue to look on down. Here's the perspective of a drop coming on in. Everyone's made it up on the mountain right now. Still some people on the edge. You see the likes of Cease still alive. Clicks, Zate, Creo, Cosmic, Skype, who earlier on took home a game of his own in game 2.
Quick note, by the way, Riversun, who we saw eliminate the 6th place position, has gone down himself in 4th. So he is out of this game. 44 players reversing your feed, going down to Dementos. And we are not even at placement position just yet. And we're looking at the 6th to 7th circle transition starting in 10 seconds. Everyone has to move. The people that have the best opportunity to take shots back, they're going to be able to pick up a lot of eliminations. Players are going to be on rotation. Things are about to get real tough for a lot of people.
The edit. So they just wait, hop the ball, and roll. Now, I don't think you can hold high ground from this early on. I mean, yes, high ground will be very good, but this is going to be a long rotation if you're going to wind up making that happen. Black is up top for the moment. Bugha, you see him soaring on over with the shockwave grenade. Setting up, always getting ahead of the zone as far as possible. Pika there as well.
Back behind him, going to take even more shots at players on rotation. Very smart plays. The shadow bomb, and he still has 3 more, so this rotation better be a good one. Got a chance to get ahead of a lot of people here.
I really do love this. He knows how close he is to placement points, and he's got such a lead right now that unless someone has a monster performance, if he just gets placement points, makes it to the top 25 again, with just 2 games left, that could be really all he needs to secure this Fortnite World Championship. And he got the zone. The zone's going back his way, but Bugha goes to edit out, and there's a shotgun waiting for him. down to under 50 HP, frantically trying to pop these minis. The spray coming on through. Can our leader hang on to placement points? Storm Surge activated on some of the remaining players. Booga peeks out again for a shot. Not gonna connect yet. 32 players left. Shadow Bomb being used. Can Booga make it to the top 25? 3 more points can be the difference between making it as our #1 player today or second place. Booga's still bouncing up. 30 players left. Just so frantically looking around for potential victim.
You'll notice as soon as they're box to box, right next to another player, players like Booga will opt to build straight up. One more, 26 remaining. If one more goes down, he's going to pick up placement points. Keep an eye on the feed just to see only one elimination remains. There it is, 25. So he's already into the placement points now. It's going to push him even higher on the leaderboard. Everybody left picks those points up too, but as we move, players starting to drop left and right. Sky still sitting on a baller, as well as Fatch, Pika with the ultimate high ground, and Booga right in the middle, right in the thick of it, looking on the outside. That's a very smart play. In that moment, you have a baller flying up. You don't want those players to hold on to those. Taking the shots to break it out, maybe force an engagement.
With only 8 builds.
15 now.
Out of builds, no movement items. Made it to top 15. For me, this is already a fantastic game for Booga. You've got placement points. Another elimination. How about a second? Booga, what are you doing? 2 elims come in. He's back up to near full HP, and he's in the top 10, and he's got all the materials he could ever need. Booga, how are you making this happen? From no mats and no movement. One player nearby. Booga at 3 elims, still ahead of this zone. He can absolutely win this game, Dr. Lupo. 2 away from more placement points.
Opts to drop the extra weapons in his inventory. A gold AR, the green pump, 6 minis, and a campfire. 42 builds remaining, and he's just looking. 5 players left. He is sitting in one of the best spots I think he could have possibly imagined. Creo picking up an elimination. He's sandwiched between Pika, Piza's, Creo on the ultimate low ground. He's looking any chance to pop through when a player is not looking to get a shot in might be enough.
Still has mats, 1 player below. Booga just staying ahead of this. Has only taken 1 score tick so far. Player up top fighting, player down low fighting. Can Booga make the impossible happen? Dodges the trap as well. Taking a little bit of storm damage. Booga's got to make it on in. 1 build left, drops on in. Booga, no! But either way,
it's all good.
He's done what he needs to do. He knows how important that game is. Now we're in our top 3. Pika up top. We were following him earlier on today. Pizzas and Creo all the way down low.
0 builds in Pika's inventory. It's going to be tough. He's going to have to drop in and go for a fight. Cannot connect. Pizzas finds that elimination. Creo gets the final one in game 5. Goes to Creo.
I don't think he can believe it. I don't know if anyone caught it at home, but what he does right there is flint knocks the opponent, hits him for that body damage, and then shoots him into the zone. Great game for Creo right there, and you see repping his team. Woo, clutching on up in the end. Here it is, the final moments. The zone closing quickly, a fully closed zone. Creo's got to build on up. You see, health advantage was to Pizzas. Pizzas would win that game, but a full damage flint knock connects and swings the tide in his favor. Here it is one more time. Boom! Right to the chest, sends him into the zone, and wins the game. From Creo as he takes game 5 of the Victory Royale, 10 points plus his eliminations.
Huge game there, and Jack, we still have one more.
We do. We still have one more game here at the Fortnite World Cup Finals. I don't see any way that Booga's fallen out of first with that performance. He absolutely popped off. We're about to take a look at our standings, but Booga may just be in a position where all he needs to do is find 1 or 2 points, and
there it is. 1 or 2, are you kidding me?
Ladies and gentlemen, Booga sits atop his throne, far and away in first place. He is 1 game from $3 million. The most eliminations, tied for the most victory royales, by far the most points. Booga has put on a show and is nearing the title of Fortnite World Champion.
Here's a look at the remainder of your top 20 there. 17 points. That's what you need to break into the top 20, Jack.
Yep.
But even then, you're still 30 points away from first place.
You need a 20-plus elim game with a victory royale and 0 from Bugha. Good luck, have fun, but we do have Jordan Fisher on the floor with one of our members of that last game.
Playing health right there at the very end in such a high caliber game. Again, another stacked lobby right here at the end. Yo, hoping for some lucky health ticks in your favor, and that happened. Thank God for the best reaction for the wins so far today, in my opinion. Where's your headspace at going into this last game?
Right now, I'm on third. I just need to clutch up, make sure that I don't make any dumb plays. I just keep calm and keep how I've been playing.
Well, it's great work. Fantastic job. Great victory royale. Back up to you guys.
Great to hear from Creo right there as he takes game number 5, the nerves in those final moments. You saw the celebration. I think he even almost couldn't believe how it all ended on up. But victory royale, you know the difference between 21st and 20th is over $60,000. And a win like that, with how close the standings are, could make the difference between earning $50,000, which is still great, but $112,000, which is to follow. But we're not quite ready for Game 6 yet. We do have Balla over on Unreal Island with some analysis of Game 5.
Guys, I do have that, and what a performance here from Bugha today. Every single game almost placing consistently in the points and finding himself some eliminations as well. Only falling in that second game early on. We're going to take a look at some of the eliminations that led him to a top 5 finish here. Bugha, first off, breaking the baller on the side of zone, making sure that he knows exactly who's moving in. Why is he moving in with the baller inside of the zone, inside of the center? And then as well, getting an elimination here onto Kluja. Absolutely amazing job by Bugha there. He actually got into top 5. So an amazing finish. He's got 2 points from that, plus all the other performances, other placements in that match. We've got only 1 match remaining. Just like you guys said, it has to be a big one for somebody to overtake Bugha at this point. So Lupo, Courage, please close us out.
Thank you, Balla. As you know, so much on the line here this weekend of the Fortnite World Cup, but it is not the only thing that people are excited about with Fortnite right now, Dr. Lupo. There's always so much going on, and I'm sure a lot of people in this sold-out arena know this week it's time for a new season. And
yes, indeed.
You guys want to see the first tease for the new season of Fortnite? Ooh. I guess we should show it to him. I have not seen this before. Oh! All that Epic told us is think back. August 1st, 2019, the next season of Fortnite. Is that what I think it is? Is that what I think it is, Dr. Lupo?
CD in the third, I bet, is going nuts right now. Jack, Dusty Depot.
Ladies and gentlemen, are you guys excited for the next Fortnite season? August 1st, all will be revealed. And my God, I got the chills right now. That's the first time we saw that. They didn't show us anything.
It is.
Oh my goodness, you see how excited everyone is. And we are moments away from the final game. Everything that's happened. You see the leaderboards, you see how far it is. You're Bugha, you're up by so much. What's the rest of this lobby thinking right now?
It might at this point be a battle for second place, Jack. Such a lead right now. Bugha showing why he feels as though he deserves world champion. And at this point, I mean, you can't really blame him. He's playing out of his mind, playing incredibly intelligently. Positioning is key, and he's going for placement every single time. He's showing why he's on top of the leaderboard.
I can't believe he is so far and away the best. It has been something that I think a lot of people expected him to do well, but this well, anyone to perform this well, be this far ahead, unbelievable in a stacked lobby like this. Folks, use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup. Tell us your thoughts on the teaser we just saw, on what you're expecting from these final games, on your thoughts overall on the World Cup. It has been such a blast to be at this point. I cannot believe the road from where we started to here. These online qualifiers, everyone coming on in, the big names, the teams getting involved, Fortnite competitive is at a fantastic point, and with the millions watching online, I think it's a testament to how well it's doing.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. See a look down at the players getting ready for their final match of the day. 6 games total, the end of this next and final match. We will find out who the Fortnite World Champion in the solos competition is. If you're online, make sure you give some shout outs to those that you think can climb the board. It is still anybody's game. We've seen crazy comebacks before, and it would not surprise me to see it again. Jack, going into this last match.
Yes.
The nerves for some of these players probably at an all-time high.
Yes.
You have to realize there's going to be more after this, though.
Oh,
there's
for sure.
got to be more after this, Jack.
Yeah, this is not the end by any means. Yes, it's the biggest event in Fortnite competitive history, but there is still a bright future for this game. The new season coming out, more and more to be announced, I'm sure, very, very soon. All I know is the players are getting loaded on up and ready. You see them all looking around. What an experience this must be for all of them, their families in attendance. So many people here I've met this weekend, Ben, have been, it's their first ever gaming event. You know, not a lot happens in the Northeast because of, well, to be quite frank, how expensive it is to run events in this area of the country. But Epic do it, and they did it in style. What a fantastic venue. The marshmallow performance earlier, I saw how excited everyone was outside at the fan events too. It's been so cool, and I've been a part of so many competitive gaming events up to this point. This might be my favorite. This might be my favorite. I'm saying it right now.
It's touching, Jack. I appreciate that.
It is. I mean, it might just be, and that's all I know. I keep looking around, seeing everyone just excited, flowing back on in after the bathroom breaks, waiting for this last game. We appreciate your patience as we just get the lobby all set up. Want to make sure everything's all set and good to go. Remember, after this ends, if you're in the venue, don't just rush on out to get home and go back outside of the fan experience. We're going to crown our champion. We're going to crown our world champion. You want to be here for that big moment. Congratulate them. Celebrate the achievement. The trophy. How are they going to get that trophy home to the players? Because
Jack, I'll give you $20 if you charge down there and grab that thing right now.
I almost threw the headset down. And I thought, you know what? If I don't do that, my career is much more worth it, I believe. Again, you know, look at these lobbies. We played on these setups the other day. You know, you can't really creative. You can just sit there. So you're looking at the leaderboards, and we're used to in-game tournaments, right? Where you can go and see the prize pool and see how the split works. The solo and duos you see there on the screen. The solos, you know, competition is there. You click compete, and the prize pool pops up in-game at $3 million for first. And it, like, that's where it first set into me that we were actually at the World Cup final. Yeah.
When it's right there on the screen in front of you, it's real. Two of the fan favorites, Dubs and Mega, on your screen right now, and I gotta love that kid's hair.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I could have hair like that. There's Issa, who I know has quite the loyal following online. So many people were excited to see him perform this weekend. So much pressure for these guys. I look at the fans around the venue. Everyone excited for these games to continue. As I think the skins in the background of Chicken and Raptor were battling with the Thunder Six that provided to some of our fans in the venue today. Creo again, our winner from that last game. The thoughts going through his head right now must be, I've got to rise this leaderboard. I've got to get as high as possible. Reverse recently announced a member of TSM. Always seems like something's going on in Fortnite competitive. Now I think a lot of people wondering too, what's next to come, right? Is it more solos and duos? Is there going to be more of a focus on trios? I know a lot of people have been looking forward to that. Do teams now switch up after seeing this performance? Do you think teams begin to switch up if they're going to play trios on who they should have on their squad?
One of the things I noticed watching the few trio tournaments that we've seen over the last couple weekends, teams really have kind of mixed who they typically play with. That being said, one of the things I love the most about watching those is that the groups, it's always changing. And I think that exemplifies just how connected the competitive community really is. A lot of these players, they're all friends. We see Skeptic holding up the L to the camera, which is very funny, and people doing emotes on each other after elimination in game. But at the end of the day, there's really kind of no bad blood between anybody because they all recognize they're all here for the same thing. It's a competition. On top of that, it probably doesn't hurt that they all take home $50,000 at a minimum, right? Every single player. So that definitely can't hurt. But real quick before we move on, Jack, I just want to ask, Did you ever think that any of these players, the list of names, do you think we'd see these players at this event? I mean, we've watched them grow and change over 10 weeks of qualifiers. We saw people kind of rise up out of nowhere sometimes. And the other side of that, we have players like Tfue, who've been well known for forever. It's amazing to see the list.
No, for sure. There's players that I think a lot of people expected to make it in, but didn't. All I know is there's been one player who's dominated so far today. It's Booga, and Sundown is over on Unreal Island with a breakdown of how he made it to this point.
Thank you so much, Lupo and Courage. And with one match left in the Fortnite World Cup final, one match to put everything on the line, the Sentinels player, Booga, has dominated the entire competition. He said from the very beginning, I don't care what's going on. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna challenge every single player. I'm gonna play aggressively. I'm gonna look to get in their faces, get in the end game. The player who qualified from the start made a name for himself after the host and continuing running through. Let's take a look into some of his eliminations and how he's been able to build himself a 15-point lead over the best of the best in the world, and he's doing it by intelligent rotation, getting to the far side of the zone, and then hitting his shots. Kid, Bugga says, bring the rest of the lobby on. I'm looking to go aggressive. We talked about King and his shoot first mentality, but the difference between King and Bugga is Bugga chooses his spots when to go. He knows when he needs to hold off, when he needs to be safe for a second, and when he can go aggressive. You see him stall just for a minute there against Creo, who's pushing in to the top 3, and he is able to execute the game plan, come up with the victory royale, and keep pushing forward. Now again, you know, right now, he has 0 elims, able to pick up one right there, but he's chasing back into the storm. He's not looking to run forward, he's looking to catch them afterward. And same thing there, dropping down, picking up Kinzo, breaking the trap, and this one in particular, incredibly well done. With the infantry rifle, laying down the shots, able to pick that one up. And you know, the one thing I really like to see about Bugga afterward, every single time he hits those shots, real quick, he's just making sure he gets everything clean. No sweat going on him, no sweat indeed, because he is sweating out the rest of the lobby. If you see Sentinels Bugga running at you, you need to be defensive or disengage, because he is not letting it go. He wants the top spot. He wants to be your wire-to-wire leader, and he wants to name himself the best Fortnite player in the world. One more match left. Lupo and Courage, take it away and close us out.
Great stuff, Sundown. Gotta tell the story of how our player in first place has made it this far. Again, we appreciate your patience as we just get a couple things sorted in the lobby, but I believe I've received word. Everything is set. It all comes down to this. Millions and millions played online. Only 200 qualified for the Fortnite World Cup Finals, and this is the last game. The battle bus has launched one more time. The Fortnite World Cup Finals ends right here.
All 100 players on your screen there, Jack. Bugga sitting out in front of everyone thus far. A commanding lead. Creo, the winner of the previous game, flying in there in the northeast corner of the map. Spread of players across the screen. There's your top 10 on the left side. Bugga, Psalm, Creo, Skype, Nate, Riverson, Rux, and the rest. Average placement thus far of 25th for Creo. Only 8 eliminations, but 30 points. Enough to put him in 3rd place thus far.
One thing to remember too, yesterday, Zate and Saf held on to the lead the first 5 games, and it slipped away in game 6. Bugga has been in the lead for all 5 games. He has never lost the first place spot. Will he suffer the same fate, or can he close it out right here to remain our Fortnite World Champion?
Bugga, by the way, hails from Pennsylvania, 16-year-old player. Sentinels qualified the very first week for the World Cup.
He's probably just got his first part-time job to try to start earning money to buy himself a car. But instead, after this, could walk away with $3 million. Dude's gonna walk on in and say, I quit.
Can't wait for him to get home as You know, imagine he wins $3 million here. His parents are going to ask him to take the trash out, and he's going to laugh.
Yeah, right. He'll just pay his butler to do that, I guess, at that point. As Cease currently set up, not many builds. One of these very early awkward fights. Cease knows that as well. You look at what he has: a common infantry rifle, 25 shots, and a drum gun, 0 ammo.
Jack, one of the first 4 to go down in this match is Skype, who was in 4th place.
Wow, so a little bit of pressure already gone from that top spot. Cease just looting for the moment. 2 chug splashes. If I do, as he throws them down, can you